Yeah. Alrighty, wait a minute. We gotta do that, and we gotta do that. Then we can do this, and then we got to do this right there. There we go. Eli's first one here tonight. Asha Kumar. Que pasa? What's happening? Elliot B. Davis. Kubaran. Good evening. Good evening. Arco. Okay. Calvin Hill. Good evening. MB. Ashok. Good evening. Michael Sinclair. Doc, what's happening? Another day, another dollar. Here we go. Elliot, I'm doing fine. Thank you very much. Marge, the silver guy, good evening, good evening. Asha Kumar, good evening, sir. Thank you, thank you. Who did that one? Hey, Ellie, thank you for that. It's cute. Joe Kippo, what's happening? Eli, thank you. Luke X, what's happening? Old dog, what's happening, old dog? Chris Banks, what's going on? Oh my goodness. It's a lot different tonight than it did last night. Christopher, good evening, and how are you doing today? Hey, dog. So, dog. Oh, is it? Listen here before we start to whine. That side's yours and this side's mine. So move it on over. Just rock it on over. Move over, oh dog. Hot dog's moving in. All right. Okay, I suppose we can get ready. Good. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Good evening, good evening. Hey, Tony, what's happening? Good evening, everyone. My name is James. This is Dividend Stock Talk, brought to you by The 10-Minute Trader, where I invest in dividend stocks for weekly cash flow, showing you exactly what I do, even walking through a few trades so that you can understand, see how simple, easy, and predictable and consistent it is. So that's what I'm looking for. Simple, safe, predictable, consistent, 1% per week. Now, if you know anything about math, you do know that 1% a week does come to over 50% per year. That's what I'm looking for. The Golden Law Group. I started my day with a song from James and got another one tonight. I'm kind of curious. What was I singing this morning? All right, buy and hold stocks. What's happening? I'll try to rack my brain for a good one. Hello. Do you can help me buy PayPal stock? Oh, hell no. I don't do PayPal. I started my day. Cool. Pink Floyd. Ooh, wait a second. Hello. Is there anybody in there? Just nod if you can hear me. Is there anybody home? What do you do on YouTube? Good evening. What was that? Tatty the Derp. Tatty the Derp, how are you doing today? Well, here we are showing people how to invest simply, predictably, consistently for 1% return per week. That comes to over 50% per year. Now, we're not looking for capital appreciation. We're looking for cash flow, and specifically weekly cash flow. About 1% a week comes to over 50% per year. BTEBs for life. BTEBs, you're going to have to explain to what that means, but okay, is what it is. Sierra, good evening, Miss Sierra. Big Boy Cade, I thought his shirt said something else. Oh, hell no. How's my day going? My day is lovely. You look like in fire tonight. Okay, thank you, Christian. Gallant wants to take a look at MAR. Keith Adilla. That's a cool name. All right, so glasses. All right. Gallant wants to take a look at MAR. MAR. It helps if I'm actually where I'm supposed to be. MAR and Marriott. Okay. Jonathan, how you doing? All right, so let's take a look and let's start off the night with Marriott. Okay, Marriott is MAR. Here's the high, Here's a low. Here's where it was. Here's where it is. Look at this. Down, up, down. Now she's going back up again. 247. Well, the 247 and a half. I got the wrong box open. I gotta change that. I was doing something earlier. All right, here we go. The 247. 50 is right there. 450. That's well over 1%. Hell yeah. Starting out with a bang. Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at the chart and see if it's the right time to buy Marriott. Now, we all know who Marriott is, but here's where we are at the moment. These numbers look good, so let's see if the chart tells us yes or no. All right, well, a year ago, Marriott's at 252. And in August, the first week of August is our bottom at 204. All right, well, the last 90 days, just before Christmas, okay, just before Christmas, she drops, shoots back up, drops again. I mean, come on. Really, come on. You can see it. Down, up, down, up. Okay, it's not that difficult to see. But look at this right here. Friday is the 30-day bottom. Okay, Monday was higher. Tuesday was higher. Today was higher. Here's your top here, drops down. Now it's retracing. Is it the right time to buy? Well, that's something you got to figure out for yourself. But for me, it looks pretty good. Now, I want to take a look at the seasonality chart. And for those of you who don't know what a seasonality chart is, it's kind of like what it sounds like. Seasonal. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Got a couple more questions here. Uh-oh. Questions. All right, I'm going to pause it right here for the questions so I can finish up this example here. Now, if you're not familiar with the seasonality chart, all the way to the left is January 1st, all the way to the right is December 31st. So that's the whole year. However, the blue line represents the movement this year only. The red line, that represents 10 years of data. That's 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, so on and so forth. You get it, 10 years. That's the average movement. That's what the stock normally does, on average. Okay? Jumps up in the first quarter, dips in the second half of the first quarter, kind of goes flat for almost the whole year, and then in the fourth quarter, has a tendency to go up. Well, that's kind of nice information to have, don't you think? All right. So right now, the blue dot right here, is today. So I'll put crossbars right there, see what average does for the week. So I go like this, right on the red line, right there, cross references, okay? See, this is today, right there. This is what normally, this is not guaranteed. Normally, she goes sideways for the next 2 weeks, dips a little bit into week number 3. Okay, all right, I can deal with that. Now remember, I only want to get in on a Monday or Tuesday and be out on a Friday. So I don't really care, 2, 3, 4 weeks down the line. My main concern is what's happening this week, because that's my concern is. If I'm going to buy it tomorrow, I want to see it go flat for another week, because all these options that we're trading, stock options that we're trading, expire on Fridays. So this Friday is the 28th of March. Well, next Friday is the 4th of April. But next week starts the first quarter, starts the first week of the second quarter, also known as week number 14 for the year. Now, we all know there's 52 weeks in the year, 13 weeks in a quarter. So we are currently in week number 13 for the year and week number 13 for the first quarter. Okay, so this week, well, as soon as the month's over, what do we got, like 4 or 5 days? That's about it. And then the month is over, and then we're into quarter 2. All right. Alrighty, so let's get out of here. Now, everything looked pretty good, so why not see what possible covered call on Marriott might look like? Okay, we're going to change this to covered stock. And they're currently at 247.37. See the current price right here? 237.47. So if I buy it at this price here, I want to sell the 247.50s because that's the closest you're going to get to that number right there. 247.50 right there. So I'm going over here and boom, buying that right there. Okay, 247.50 right there. Slide over. Now, when you bring your cursor on top of one of these numbers, you'll see a little tiny square. Now, I know you guys cannot see it on your iPads or your phones or whatnot. That's why this screen, I like doing this, ready? This screen right here is live on YouTube. So you can go over to YouTube and be able to see these little tiny numbers. Because you can't see them on your phone or your iPad. No, yeah, YouTube, I'm talking YouTube. Anyway, so you see a little tiny square underneath there that says buy. Now if I move it over a little bit to the bid column, now a little tiny square says sell. So the cursor is telling you exactly what you're going to do. So in this situation, I want to buy it because I'm buying the stock and I'm selling the option. So I click right there and boom, this opens up. This is the order. Okay, so here's where I fill in how many shares of stock I want to get, how many contracts of options I want to sell, and this is all the other details. You know, the month, the week, the strike price, okay, the type of order it is. This is a call, which is a call option, so it's a stock option, and this one down here is a stock order. So you get two orders. You buy the stock, sell the call. Here's the price, the limit order. Now, I don't do limit orders. I do market orders. So a market order will fill instantaneously first thing tomorrow morning. So as the market opens at 9:30 a.m., well, guess what happens by 9:31 a.m.? By 9:31, I bought and sold at the exact same time. I bought the stock, I turned around and I sold the option. Now the computer does it for me. So I don't trust computers. It gets sent to the market maker and the market maker takes care of it. I guess some questions over here. Number 15. It's been a while. Yes, it has. What's the symbol? The symbol is MR. I gotta learn some sign language. MA. R. I have no clue, but I do know that's an M. Anyway, all right, so we're going to change it to just one contract. You don't want to see 10. 10 might be a little bit too much for some of you people. Confirm and send. Now, here we go. Here is the actual order. Now, I always encourage, and your eyes are one thing, but your ears are now, I want 3 out of 8. One covered call of Marriott 100s, that's the weekly, for April 25. Well, that means the option is going to expire next Friday. So whoever buys it, now you could be an option buyer or you can be an option seller. Okay? You can be both if you want to. Now, I prefer to sell options. I don't like to buy them. And here's my reasoning. In my reasoning, if you think about it, well, it kind of makes sense. Okay? 80% of all options expire worthless. So why would I want to buy? If 80% of all the options expire worthless, it doesn't make sense to me to buy. But if 80% expire worthless, I want to be a seller. Think about it. If I sell it for $100 and it expires worthless, I just made $100 for nothing. Anyway, let's continue. Continue. Here we go. So here's the order. Buy one covered call, Marriott 100 for April 25. That next Friday. Not this Friday, next Friday, the 4th of April. The $247.50 call option against the stock at the market to open to open. It's 2 orders. I'm buying the stock, that's 1. I'm selling the option, that's 2. but I'm doing it as a covered call. That way I only have to pay one commission. Okay? So, next, break even stock price, $241.97. Well, if that's my break even, anything over 241.97 is going to be a profit. How much of a profit? Well, it is what it is. But the maximum profit, 553. Well, that's a nice number. All right. That's my maximum profit. Anything over 241.97 is going to be a profit. Well, right now the stock's at 247.37. But break even is 241.97. That's like a $4 difference. Wait a minute, no, that's a $6 difference. Okay, so if this stock goes up, I make money. If it stays the exact same, I make money. It can even come down almost $6, and I'll still make money. Well, I love a trade like that. It's simple, it's easy, it's safe, it's predictable, it's consistent. That's everything I'm looking for. All right, let's find out what the rate of return would be. Now, the math is always the same when you're figuring out the rate of return. You take your profit, okay, that's 553. Where's my calculator? This is what you get to look forward to when you get older. You know, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay. Now, looking at the phone so I can read all the questions, but to see the monitor, I need my glasses. Yeah, it ain't that much fun getting old. So let's look at the calculator. Here we go. Come on. There we go. Calculator. Here it is. All right. So we're going to take our profit, 553. And we're going to divide it by the cost of the trade, including commissions and fees, $24,197. $24,197.67. Can't forget that 67 cents. Now, this comes to 2.2%. Now, remember what I said earlier? I'm looking for 1% per week. 1% per week is over 52% per year. That is simple interest. Now, there's a huge difference between simple interest and compounded interest. Okay? And I'm kind of hoping that I don't really need to have to explain it. Because as much as I feel that the current education system sucks, when I grew up, they taught us what compounded interest simple is and compounded interest compounded is. That makes no sense, but compounded interest as opposed to simple interest. Wow, that's sweet tonight. All right, so 2.2%, wait a minute, 2.28%. Now, I'm not quite sure if anybody knows exactly, right off the top of the head, what 2.28% per week comes to when you multiply it out throughout the year. Well, the suspense is killing you. I just know it. Multiplied by 52, I'm going to say 121. 118. 118.8. Come on, that was close. For the top of my head, that's pretty close. I said 121. It's actually 118.8. But think about it. If you could get a trade like this every single week, and yes, it is possible. I feel it coming. Oh, shit. Ooh, that felt good. Anyway, 1.188. Ooh, that's nice. But think about it. If you could get, well, my goal for the past 15 years is 1% per week. That's over 50% per year. Well, that works nicely for me. And I'm okay with it. I'm perfectly happy with the consistency of my rate of return every single week, 1%. Yeah, it takes me 10 or 15 minutes. And that, see, some people, here in the audience are going to think, hey, this is great. Let me do this, once, and then I never have to do it again. No, you're adding a new 5 or 10 minute, what do you call it? Give me a second. I know this one. I'm the one that created it, and I got to think about what it is. Routine. You're adding a 10-minute item to your routine in the morning. Okay, I'm terribly sorry if getting up in the morning, exercising, eating, showering, shaving, all ready, and then you want to sit in front of your computer for 10 minutes to manage your money. Well, think about it this way, all right? Now, if you're just getting started, it may not sound like it's going to be worth it, but just hold on a second. For 10 minutes a day, think about it this way. 10 minutes a day, which is about an hour a week, will get you 1% of whatever your account is. Okay, let's say you got 50,000. Okay, 1% of 50,000 is $500. Now, for 10 minutes a day, for $500 for 1 week, for 1 hour, because you're only spending an hour. When I say the 10-minute trade, well, you should, once you get good at it, once you understand it, and trust me, it may sound difficult at first. It's not. It's like driving a car. The first time you sat in a car, it's like, the gas pedal is there, the brake is here. What do I? And then I got it mirrors and that. Oh, what? I remember the first time I learned to drive. It was so much information coming from you at all angles, and it was intimidating at first. Okay, it is for everybody, but this is basically the same way. And I always encourage people. I don't tell people what to do. I encourage people. If you're going to think about doing something like this, paper trade first. All you're wasting is your time. You're not wasting any money. But is time educating yourself really a waste? No, it's not, because you're learning something that will change your life. Now, I can only lead you to where the water is, lead you to the X. You're going to have to drink the water. You're going to have to dig for the treasure. That's about it. Okay, now, I created this trading strategy for my 9-year-old daughter, because back in 2008, she came up to me and said, "Daddy, what are you doing? Can you teach me?" And I'm thinking to myself, 9-year-old little girl wants to learn how to trade stocks? I mean, because she sees me doing it every night. I'm thinking, click, "Daddy, what are you doing? Can you teach me?" I said, well, okay. So teaching a 9-year-old how to trade, well, it has to be simple. Think about it. 9 years old. Some adults don't even understand this. Seriously, some adults don't understand this. But here's my 9-year-old daughter asking me. All right, it has to be simple, safe, predictable, consistent, and no way for her to lose. All right. How the hell do I do that? All right, so I had to come up with a trading strategy specifically for her. All right, hold on one second. Antoine, Mr. James, how many years it took you to purchase enough shares to look like a weekly paycheck with the premium? Oh, that's a freaking awesome question. Hold that thought. Give me a second. Buy and hold stock tips. I'm curious what you think about Abbott Labs. Ooh, we'll take a look at Abbott Labs next. Antoine, that's what I want to accomplish. Well, cool beans. Now, Antoine, here's an interesting thing. There's a few people that I listen to because, to me, it makes sense. You don't want to, if you're looking for a sunrise and you're heading west, you got a problem, okay? If you're going to jump in the water, you're going to get wet. Now, there's certain things that logic and common sense come into play. Okay, up, down, left, right, that kind of shit. Yeah. So there's certain people I listen to for logical things, and I forget where I'm going with this scenario. Oh. Yeah, don't get old. Anyway, as I was saying, how long did it take? So when I say 10 minutes a day for 1%, whatever your account is, think about it, whatever it is. You have 50,000, 1% is $500. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot because you think investing and you should be, set for life with 1 or 2 tries. No, it doesn't work that way. It's a consistent thing. It's like if you're going to get paid and you want to pay your mortgage, well, you have to consistently go to work. Well, with your money, you have to consistently put it to work. And if you don't put it to work every single day, it will not grow as fast as you would like it. Now, at first, it will be slow because 1%, and then another 1%, and then another 1%, because it's not just 1%, it's 1%, and then 1% of 1% plus 1%. And then it's 1% of 1% plus 1% plus 1%. And then it says 1% of 1%, 1%, 1%. So as it compounds, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So at some point in time, 10 minutes a day, you figure out where you want to put it. Once you put it in your routine in the morning, it becomes routine. You open up your computer, okay? You take a look at your positions, okay? Now, when you look at your position, it's simple. Let me actually show you how I do it, and let me see if it actually, and you tell me if it makes sense to you. Okay, so we're going to play a little game of make a pretend. Make a pretend. All right, right there. Now, okay, so hypothetically speaking, I sit down at my computer and this is what I see. These are my positions here. Very first thing I want to do is take one very top of the list, right there, and put that into the chart. F, take a look at it. Okay, great. It takes you 3 seconds, and don't BS me that it don't. 3, high, low, where was it? Where is it? Look at the motion. Okay, up, down, now it's going up. All right, it's actually that simple. Now jump in, take a look at the last 30 days, right there. Okay, look, it's going up. That's easy to see. Okay, next, I want to go over here, left click, view trade. Okay, so I'm into it at 979. And I sold the 935, and it expires on the 4th. Well, what's today? Well, today's the 20. It's the 26th. Okay, so, and this is what I sold. I bought it here. I sold this one. Here's where it's at. Here's where this is at. It's actually that simple. Next is Harley Davidson, HOG. Okay, high, low, was, is, all that crap. Okay, here we are right there. Okay, I'm in at 35.79. I sold the 26s. Well, wonderful. Okay, it's at 25.96. It's close to the 26, so I got to do something. Well, I got to do something. If I didn't have to do something, I'd jump to the next one automatically. That's simple. But this one, and then next, Kohl, same thing, KSS. Okay, high, low, was, is, where's it going, blah, blah, blah. Here we are right now. It's a little bit down today. Okay, 8.95. Okay, I'm at 15.72. I sold the 9s. I'm safe, not a problem. Next, Macy's. Okay, high, low, all that crap. Last couple of days. Okay, now it's going down, second day in a row. Okay, I'm into it at 15. I sold the 14s. I pushed it out until next week. Nothing to do here. Next. Riley, R-I-L-Y. Okay, ooh, up day. Look at that. Down, up. Okay, Riley. 657. I sold the 450s for the 28th. It's currently at 425. The 450s right here. So can it hit that by Friday? Yep, I'm going to keep my eye on it. That's all it means. I got to keep my eye on it. Last but not least, U.S. Steel. Okay. Oh, look at that. Made a new high today. Currently at 42.96. Where am I? Okay, 35. I sold the 37s to the 28th. That's today. Okay, it looks interesting. Nothing really to do here. That's it. You're just adding a couple of minutes to your morning routine. You see what you bought. You see what you bought it for. Am I profitable? Am I not profitable? Now, we all know what math is. We all know that 9 is higher than 3. And we all know that 15 comes just before 16 and 18. Okay, it's all rather basic and simple. It's only as complicated as you want to make it. Now, remember, it was created for a 9-year-old. So I'm going to actually show you the little princess so you get an idea of who actually created this. Okay, right here. Oh, who I created it for, I should say. Come on. Right there. I really should have this better. I should have a better layout. This layout is terrible. YouTube, there we go. Now, Jacob was supposed to coordinate it so it looked better. Okay, so here we are on YouTube. Now, I'm going to go to videos. Look how many videos I have. of, where is it? 939. Yeah, and have fun watching all those. All right, videos. And I want to go to the oldest right there. And here's the princess right here.
Hi, I'm JC, and as you being part of my internet website company, which my dad didn't let me calling it that, but I do. Being part of that, you're going to be getting weekly lists of stocks and other trading. And
that's her. And here's me 15 years ago. That's me.
What does that mean? That means every single day you buy a different stock. Every single day there's a different company paying out dividends. Seriously.
That thing makes me laugh every time I see it. Come on. No. Bloody hell. It's not moving. All right. Anyway, we'll deal with that later. So the thing is, simple, safe, predictable, consistent, no way for her to lose. That's a strategy I had to come up with. Okay, so 5 rules. Are you ready? Never buy something you don't understand. Never sell at a loss. Make sure the company's consistently profitable. Weekly options only. And then make sure the numbers work. Now, we're going to touch on each one of those as the night progresses, one at a time, and I'll explain everything. You guys have questions, ask the questions, but please do me a favor. If you want me to take a look at a stock, make sure it has dividends. Make sure it has weekly options. Other than that, we're wasting time, and I'm only going to be here for 2.5 hours, and I want to share as much as I possibly can. Okay, so do me a favor. Make sure it has options, make sure it has weekly options, and make sure it has dividends. Other than that, please ask the question only once. I will answer each and every individual question. Okay, I'm going to stop looking at stocks right around 11:15. Then I'm just going to answer questions. But I am going to answer them as the night progresses. So I don't want anyone to think I'm neglecting them. I will answer all the questions. All right? So before we look at anything else, let's get some of the stocks listed out. And then we will take a look at more stocks. All right, so Antoine. All right, you want to know how many years it took me. Now, when I started back in the 90s, I started with $12,000. Okay, not a lot of money. $12,000 would only bring me in like $120 a week. Now, $120 a week for 1 hour of my time, well, okay. It was a little bit rough at first. But you got to create consistency in a discipline. Okay? You wash your face and you shave and you shower every day. Well, why not take care of your money every day? It's really not that difficult. And believe it or not, you can take the weekends off because the stock market's not open on the weekends. So it kind of works that way. That's what you want to accomplish. Okay, great. I've been putting $150 a day in my brokerage account. Freaking, that's cool, dude. Okay, now if you can compound that every single week at 1% or more, well, you might get to your goal faster than you think. But here's the thing about your goal. Your goal is your goal. Now, you know, well, we're all adults here, okay? Seriously, you're an adult. You should know off the top of your head how much money do you need per month. Not want. There's a huge difference between want and need. Okay? Okay, want, you can want whatever your heart desires. If you can pay for it, fine. But need is a different scenario. Okay? Food, shelter, clothing. That's the only thing you need in life. Everything else is a want. You don't need to have a trading account. You don't need to have a phone. You don't need to have a car. Okay? But wanting is a different story. So, Antoine, to answer that question, I have no idea how much your lifestyle is going to require. Okay, if you need $5,000 or $10,000 a month, well, you need enough money to bring you in $5,000 or $10,000 a month. Okay, if you're a little on the frugal side and you can live off of $1,000 a month, well, that's going to be a lot easier. Okay, but everybody's different. And just in case you didn't know, all right, now, I don't remember exactly where I heard this statistic, but the statistic I heard, if you make $34,000 a year or more, You are richer than 95% of the whole planet. Believe it or not, $35,000 a year, you're richer than 95% of the planet. Granted, granted, $35,000 a year, in some countries it's poverty. But for the most part, for the whole grand scheme of the world, it is what it is. B is for Brendan. Ted is last of the last name. B Teds for life. Okay, Teds. Cool beans. Safe man, good evening. Iceberg Slim, what's going on? Uh-oh. All these questions I missed. All right, here we go, right here. Iceberg Slim, cool. Aines Regales. Okay. Anna Smith, good evening, Miss Anna Smith. Barry Belat, I'm assuming that's right. Barry Belat. Renee G, good evening. Got here late. What you looking at? Well, we were looking at U.S. Steel a little while ago. All right. Bruce, good evening. Seemar, what's going on? Thank you for that, Seemar. Ted, what's going on? What about PSA? Uh-oh. What the hell is PSA? PSA. Pretty sexy ass. Sorry, it just came off the top of my head. All right, I'm going to say no to PSA. Okay? Ted, B Teds. 17 April, 16 May, 20 June, 19 September. Yeah, dude, this is a monthly. Okay, no weeks here at all. Now, I don't do monthly option trading because monthlies only pay once a month, which means I can get, what, 12 to 24% a year? Yeah, that doesn't work for me. I like weekly options only. Now, you're new here, so I'm going to like. Dear live stream, I made it. Alrighty then. When should I roll a position? Luigi, you should roll a position when all the numbers point to it's best to roll the position. Think about it, okay? I like to do my trades on a Monday because Monday is going to give me the biggest bang for my buck, okay? I'm trading weekly. Well, the most amount of time you have available on weekly trading is first thing Monday morning, 9:30 a.m., to 3:59 p.m. Friday. That's the maximum amount of time you have. Because at 9:30 a.m., you can do your first trade. You can do your last trade at 3:59 p.m. on Friday. So that's it. That's the maximum amount of time you can have any week. Well, because there's no trading on Sunday and there's no trading on Saturday. So the market opens at 9:30 and it closes at 4. They actually have a bell. Ding, 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 ding. That means get ready to go, and then ding, 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 you're done. That's basically it. Every single trading day of the year. So you need to fit that into your schedule however you want to do that. Because that's the only parameters you have in this game. Because location ain't it. I can be anywhere. And as a matter of fact, if you've seen some of my videos, you've seen me trading in an airport. You've seen me trading at the beach. You see me trading in the winter in the snow by the ocean. You see me trading up in the mountains in Vermont, and you see me trading up in the barn up in Maine. So I could trade anywhere as long as I can get a signal, but I always have to fall within that time frame. 9:30 a.m. Monday morning, 3:59 p.m. Friday afternoon. Now, here's a funny story for you. I'm not quite sure, I didn't find it funny at the time, but now, 20 years later, I can find it funny, okay? I was in vacation in Jamaica, okay, and installing an aquarium, because that's what I used to do years ago. And I said, hey, you need to excuse me, because it was like 10 minutes, it's like 5 or 10 minutes to 3. I said, you need to excuse me. I need to go and get ready to make my trades before 4 o'clock. He said, okay, yeah, no problem. So I go to my room, and as I get into my room, it's, like 3:50, like 5 or 10 minutes past 3. Great, I got plenty of time. No, I don't. Okay, Jamaica is 1 hour ahead of us. So I log on to make some trades so I don't lose any money, okay, at 3:05 Jamaica time. But 3:05 Jamaica time is 4:05 New York time. Okay, so yeah, you are limited to the clock in New York. Now that little boo-boo right there, I think it was $6,500 I lost because I couldn't get in time. But that was my own fault. Okay, my own fault because I'm in Jamaica having a good time, and I decided, you know what, it's 3 o'clock. Let me go do my trades before 4. Little did I know, back home in New York, it's 4 o'clock as I'm going back to the condo. So yeah, I lost $6,500 that day. Tony Hawk's brother, who took his studies seriously. Well, thank you about that quantum wave pattern. I'll let Tony know that you said hi. All right, so let's keep going. Ooh, look at that. We've been doing this live all this time, and I didn't press the button for Instagram. Okay, well, they're finding out now. All right, anyway, let's keep on going. So, Ted, I don't do monthlies. The numbers just don't work. You can slice it up any way you want. You can do whatever you want with your account. But for my account, weeklies only. Simple, safe, predictable, 1% per week. That's what I'm looking for. You want PSA? Hey, all best to you. I don't trade it because it doesn't give me what I want. Now, we looked yesterday, 9,979 different companies. PSA doesn't fit? Fine. You now have 9,978 companies to look at. PSA doesn't work, so next. Simple as that. Yeah, baby. Over here on Instagram. It's an interesting name. I like to accentuate it because it sounds cool. All right, anyway. Next, here we go. Lone Wolf, dude, I haven't seen you in a while. Someone would literally show me how to trade properly. Well, the funny thing, okay, now Lone Wolf, I appreciate your, what do you call it? You're sharing, you're interacting. I appreciate it. If you really want to trade, well, number one, you got to figure out what it is you want. And you can't just say, well, I want to make money. I'll hand you a damn broom. You can go sweep the sidewalk and somebody will throw some pennies at you. Okay? The better question you ask, the better result you're going to get. Okay? If you say something, well, I have this money, I want to invest it at this time with this much risk factor, with this kind of return, and this kind of something, whatever. The better question you ask, the better answer you're going to get. Okay? You want to show me how to trade? Simple. I showed my 9-year-old. Okay? The trading strategy I'm showing you was created for my 9-year-old daughter. Now, a couple of minutes ago, I just showed you the video of her. Okay? She wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer, and she wasn't the brightest bulb on the tree, but we loved her anyway. She was your average, everyday, normal high school girl. Well, actually, she was in elementary or whatever. At 9? No, she was in junior high. Whatever. Okay, but when she was 9, I created specifically for her. It's simple. You like a stock? PSA, great. I want to hit buy. Put it right here, trade. There it is right there. Let's buy it. There we go. That's how you buy it. How many do you want? Great. Great. Now hit confirm and send. And there you go. Now you own it. It's actually that easy to buy. But you make your money when you buy the stock. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, are you buying it at the right time? Well, that's a huge, loaded question. Because as we look at the chart, here's the high, here's the low, here's where it was, here's where it is. Where is it going next? That's an important question. Just buying a stock and how to trade, well, that's the easy part. You buy a low, you sell high. That's easy. Well, what are all the other, let's say, tidbits in between the big words? Okay? So when is the right time to buy? What is it you're looking to get? Me, specifically, I'm looking to get 1% simply, safely, predictably, consistently without losing. That's what I'm looking for. That's a trading strategy I created for my 9-year-old. So simply, never buy something you don't understand. Never sell at a loss. Make sure the company's consistently profitable. Weekly options are a must, and then make sure the numbers work. Now, we're going to look at each one of those segments, and we're going to dissect each and every one and actually show you some trades. It's not that difficult. It's as complicated as you want to make it to be. All right, you want complicated? Get behind the, behind the stick of a commercial airline. Okay? Yeah, there's so much going on that you need to know. Yeah, so, this is easier compared to that. Funny story, though, on that exact same topic. See, one of the guys in my morning trading group is an actual commercial pilot. And he showed me his screen. Now, this is my screen right here. It may look a little complicated, but his screen, he's got so much shit going on in his screen. It's like, how the hell did you do that? And how the hell do you pay attention to that? Well, he's a commercial pilot. He's used to having all these bits of information coming from different directions to get him to where he wants to go. It makes sense to him. To me, it's confusing as hell. And I've been trading for over 20 years. Jeff Jerzik, good evening to you. All right, so Lone Wolf, tell me what you want to do, and we'll help you out as best I can. All right, next, Will. What stock is he talking about? Well, not really talking about that one. I don't like that one. Let's take a look at another one. Somebody give me a good stock to take a look at. Oh, look at that. Galant likes DAL, Delta Airlines. There we go. Okay, now we're talking about Delta Airlines. Okay, well, that works. All right, right here, Delta Airlines, 4807 is the last price, the high, the low, where was it, where is it? Look at this, up, down. Now it's going back up again. 4807 is the current price. So at 4807, if I buy it at 4807, what's the closest strike price? Well, it's going to be the 48. Well, the 48 is going for $1.40. Now, that is just a little bit less than 3%. Coca-Cola Bear. What's happening? Options is gambling. No. Actually, no, it's not. Okay, so Coca-Cola, let me give you a rough idea. Okay, just rough. Once you understand what it is, it's actually very simple. Now, I'm going to give you a metaphor or an example which would give you an idea how to compare it. All right? So, let's say, hypothetically speaking, you got an old car in your backyard. Let's say a 1962 Rambler and it's missing a tire. All right. So you push it out to the front of the yard and you slap a for sale sign on. Say you want $5,000 for it. Okay, wonderful, great. Tom, the guy down the street. Okay, Tom stops by and says, hey, I liked your car. I want to buy it. Here's some money. Hold it for me until Friday. Now, it's a non-refundable deposit just to hold it. If he comes back on Friday, he gives you the $5,000. If he doesn't come back on Friday, you keep that deposit that he gave you, that non-refundable deposit. You keep that. And then on Monday, you get to sell that car to someone else. So let's say Peter, Free Neighborhoods Over, says, hey, I like that car. Let me give you a little bit of money. Hold it for me until Friday. I will give you the $5,000. So now the second Friday comes along, and this bonehead doesn't show up either. So you keep that money, and the following Monday, you sell that again. And you keep doing that over and over and over again. Now, the reason why I like weekly options, the exact same thing. Okay, here's John. He didn't come up, but you collected that 1%. Here's Peter. He gave you 1%. He didn't buy the car either. So here comes Ted from Two Towns. He's going to give you a deposit also. So let's say he does buy it at $5,000. Okay, so you got your money back that you paid for it. You got him from Peter, premium from Tom, and premium from Paul. It's basically the exact same thing. But here you're buying a car, DAL, Delta Airlines. That's your car. You're buying that. And then Tom is going to give you $48. He's going to give you $1.40 for each share you have. So if Friday comes along and the price that you agreed upon, $48, okay, if the value of DAL, your car, is above 48 come Friday, he's going to come and give you the rest of the money. But if it's below 48, let's say it's 47.99. Excuse me, 47.99. Well, that's below 48. He's not going to come by and he's not going to buy it. So you keep whatever money he gave you, the 140 per share. So if you have 100 shares, that's 140 bucks. You have 1,000 shares, that's 1,400 bucks, So it's per share. So one contract is 100 shares. Okay? So this right here, it's not $1.40, it's $140 per contract. So one contract, 140 bucks. Two contracts, 180 bucks. Three contracts, 420 bucks. So on and so forth. So it's the same thing. Okay, if you have a car, you push it out in the front lawn, someone comes by, hey, I like that car, let me buy it. Same thing. Okay, I hope that clarified things. So options are only gambling if you don't know what you're doing. If you don't know the rules to the game, then yeah, you are gambling. Do you ever scalp? I suppose you could call that. So Gallant likes DAL. Here we go. The high, the low, was it? We saw all that. Cool. It all looks great. The numbers even look great. So let's take a look a little deeper into the chart to see if it is the right time to buy Delta Airlines. Because if it's not, well, we can cross that one off the list. Now we only have to look for 9,973 companies before we find one that's yeah, that one works. All right, so let's go. A year ago, Delta Airlines was at 46.04. Now, the bottom of the year for Delta Airlines was the first week in August at 37.22. Okay, well, here's our last 90 days. Okay, down, up, down, up. Easy to see. But before you get all excited, look at the last 2 days. Today and yesterday. Okay, both of them are red, which means both of them are down days. Well, let's take a closer look when we move into the 30-day chart. Okay, here's the last 30-day chart. Now, the 30-day chart looks freaking great. Look, here's the high, here's the bottom. Now it's going up. But today and yesterday, both down days. So is it stopping going up? Now it's coming back down again? Well, look at the numbers. Okay, the low right here. Okay, 42. Okay, 42.84. Right there. That right? Yeah, 42.84. The bottom. What's the high right there? 50. See? Right there. The high, 49.99. 50 bucks. Come on, let's not split hairs. 49.99, that's 50 bucks. So it goes from 40. What was that? I forgot it already. All right. 42.79 to 50 bucks. Okay, that's almost $8. Now, that may not sound like a lot looking at the chart like this, but from here to here is $8. It's a $42 stock at $8. That's just a little bit less than 20%. So a 20% incline, yeah, there's going to be profit taking. Guess what? Yesterday and today, there was profit taking. How much profit taking is there going to be until they find a new bottom? Don't know. But DAL, I'm going to write that down for next week because it looks like it might hit that quick. DAL. And I'll take a look at it next week because hopefully it'll come down, turn around, and then go back up again. Because that's all stocks do after all. They go up and then they go down. Then they go up. And guess what they do after that? And they go down. That's it. Up and down. That's all they do. Bloody jolly good. Silver Guy, April 25th is not next week. I never said it was next week. April 4th is next week. Where's my calendar? All right. Okay. So here we are right here. Yeah, next Friday is the 4th of April. All right, let's get out of there. All right. Yeah, so Delta Airlines doesn't look that great. So what's next? Finance with Brandon. Good evening there, Mr. Finance with Brandon. The silver guy. Never mind. Misheard that one. Okay. Lucky he misses a lot. Now, I'm not quite sure who he is, but okay. Ashok, Dave Lopez. How you doing? Thank you, David. Wow, I love it because I'm losing money in regular calls and puts. Ashok, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that because that looks more of a statement than a question. LV, good evening. Rodigan 75, cool beans. Coney, oh my goodness. Now, Rodigan, I have, I love interacting with people. I do. I love it when people ask me questions, and I'm trying to be helpful. I really am. But do you remember when I said never buy something you don't understand? Saying what I mean, don't buy something you don't understand. I'm making the assumption, and this is my fault. I'm going to apologize. This is all my fault. Because when I say don't buy something you don't understand, I make the assumption that you've actually looked at the numbers for Coney. You've actually looked at how often they increase their dividends. And then you also looked at how consistently the options are available. CONY. Because, see, that's my fault to not be specific, to say don't buy something you don't understand. So 17 April, 16 May, 18 July, those are all months, which means you cannot get weekly cash flow from Coney because Coney does not have weekly options. So if I was going to trade Coney and get weekly cash flow from Coney, I'd have to sit in front of the computer looking at this crap. Yeah, no thank you. I want chicken in the morning. I want chicken at night. I don't want to sit in front of the computer. Today, I was actually outside playing with my plants. I would prefer to play with my plants, tomatoes, cucumbers, celery, cilantro, plants, rather than sit in front of a computer and make money. Sorry. Yeah, baby, if you're selling the option, why is it green? Shouldn't it be red? Yeah, if I'm selling just the option. But if I'm buying the stock and selling the option, then it's green because I'm buying the stock, and the stock supersedes the option. Because the option expires where the stock never expires. So let's do this for a second. Okay. Okay. I'm buying. See? Buying is in green. Okay. Selling. Selling is in red. But when I do a covered call, if I'm buying a covered call, it's in green. If I'm selling a covered call, which I never do, it's in red. Okay, so you have to. Now, I say this a lot. Most beginners lose money because they hit the wrong button. Now, I got 3 phone calls today. 3 people hit the wrong button. Now, I can't point fingers at it because I did the exact same thing a couple of weeks ago. Okay, a couple of weeks ago, I hit the wrong button in a live trading class. So all my students are watching me, nobody's saying a word, watching me do something wrong, and I lost $2,500 for it. So you guys, thank you very much. But, it's nobody's problem but my own. It's my fault. I take full responsibility of it. But I did it in a live class. And after I did it, I said, shit, I hit the wrong button. So yeah, it happens. Okay, most people are going to lose money hitting the wrong button. That's why I always say, when you do it, make sure you read it out loud so you can hear what you're reading. Because sometimes your eyes and your fingers play tricks on you and you hit the wrong button. But when you're reading it, well, that's 3 times the charm. Okay, if all 3 are the same, so if what you're seeing looks right, if what you're typing looks right, and then when you read it out loud, what you're hearing, if that sounds right, Well, 3 out of 3. Hey, that's pretty good. All right, so anyway, let's keep on going. Finance with Brandon. Scorpio Mama. Good evening. Finance with Brandon. Thank you for that. User DH. Abbott Labs. Ooh, we haven't taken a look at Abbott Labs in a while. ABT. Ooh, excuse me. ABT. Abbott Labs. Let's get out of that. Let's get out of this. All right, now let's get out of that. And here we go. All righty, so first thing, always, 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 for me anyway, is the 1 year chart. High, low, where is it? Takes 3 seconds to see everything, and don't kid me, it does. High, low, where's it going? Down, up, down, up, down. Okay, 127.97. The closest number to 127.97 is, you guessed it, 128. Okay? And the 128 is going from 117 to 233. So 128 is right there in the middle. So yeah, you can't get your 1% out of this. Makes sense. But that's only half of it. What's the chart telling me? See, the chart's telling me something. The 1 year chart's telling me something. It's telling me where the high is, where the low is, and what's the direction of the overall stock for the year. Well, I don't trade for the year. I trade weekly. So I want to get that as small as possible to get all the odds and all the probabilities in my favor. Right? So a year ago, we're at 110. We dropped all the way down to 100, shoot up to 115 for a while, and then all the way up to 141 for the high of the year, and then pull back. Well, what's going on here? Well, there's so much congestion I can't see, so I got to zoom in and see if it makes sense, see if it's the right time. Last 90 days, doesn't take long. High, low was this, sideways, up, down, sideways. Okay, simple. Gives you a better idea where it is now. The last 2 weeks, she's just going sideways. So at 126.61, what looks good? I don't know. Let's take a look at the 30-day. Because the 30-day is the last 4 weeks. Gives me a better idea of where do I think it's going next. Well, here it is right here. 136, shoots up to 143, drops down to 125, and now we're at 126.5, just going sideways for 2 weeks. Okay, normally it comes down. It should go up slowly. So that could be a good play. Look at all that space between the 30-day high and where we are currently. Does it make sense? I don't know. Well, let's take a look at the seasonality chart. The seasonality chart gives us an idea of what does this company normally do. Because does Sally, the secretary, come in every day and do her job? Yeah. How about Pete and Tom, the guys in the janitors? Do they come in every day and do their work? What about the guys in the offices upstairs? Do they come in and do their work every? Yeah. Business as usual. The company's about 100 years old. And yeah, they continuously move forward. And are they continuously profitable? Well, that's the question I want to know. Okay? Now, Abbott Labs is a dividend king, which means they have increased their dividends every single year for at least 5 decades. Well, if they're continuously profitable for more than 50 years, yeah, I will buy it if everything looks right. All right, well, let's take a look. 30 days ago, we're at 135. We shoot all the way up to 141. We drop down to a bottom of 124, hit it twice, once on the 14th and once on Tuesday. All right, well, where's it going next? I don't know. What does it normally do? Normally, we look at the seasonality chart because it gives us an idea of what it does normally. Now look at that. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Hey, here's where we are now. Okay, the blue dot. Okay, this is today. The blue line is this year. So that blue dot, that's today. Okay, down here, this is historical performance. That means what does a stock normally do every single year, for at least for the last 10 years. Okay, this is set for the last 10 years. Now I can change it to the last 20 years. Okay, well, this is the average for the last 20 years. Okay, still going to the upside from right here, the 26th. All right, well, that works for me. But you know what? 20 years, in my humble opinion, is a little too much. All right? Now, I don't like 5 years because that's not enough time. But 10 years, I will take 10 years. Okay? There's 10 years right there. And yeah, the 10-year chart looks very lovely for this time. All right, so let's get out of here. Go back to right there. Okay, and let's go start looking at some more. Okay? Thank you, Smiley. I like a good sneeze. It just like rattles the bones. Anyway, yeah. Thank you, Joseph Quinn. Yeah, routine. Yeah, just throw it into your morning routine. Okay, so if you think it's going to be a problem, well, go to sleep 10 minutes earlier. Think about it. 10 minutes a day could equal 50% of your holdings. Okay, 1 hour. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, like I have an account that has 150,000 in it, 150,000. So 1% is $1,500. So 10 minutes a day comes to $1,500 for the week. Well, if I divide that out, that's $50 for 10 minutes. Depends on how you value your time. Is it worth it to me to spend 10 or 15 minutes on my personal finances? Well, hell yeah, it is. Well, I've been working since 1973. Okay, all that money I saved up over the years, well, it's got to last me the rest of my life. Because I'm too young to collect Social Security, and I don't even think Social Security is going to cover my phone bill. It is what it is. All right. Ripendra Bassett. What about YMAX? I'm going to tell you the same thing I told somebody else a little while ago. Take a look at how consistently profitable YMAX is. How long have they been in business? Okay. How many years of consistent increased profits have they had? Because there's 79 different companies to look at. And YMAX is not on my list because they don't fit that parameters. 10K four ways. How you doing today? Oh, bla'i then. Tacoma Lee, what's happening? Matt, I'm curious about something. When is the best time to enter a trade? What is your thoughts? Thank you for answering the question. Matt, I'm not hugely interested in counting pennies. Okay? I'm perfectly happy with 1%. So normally when I enter first thing in the morning. Sometimes, depending on the position, I'll wait until the market opens to see is it higher or is it lower. But most of the time, it's right at the opening of the day. That's for me, because I'm perfectly okay with 1%. I'm not looking to pinch pennies. You know, I'm not looking to hold out for an extra 3 to 5 cents. No. If I get my 1%, I'm happy. 222, what's happening? Willie Washer. Good evening, Willie Washer. Sarah T, good evening, and how are you doing today? Nupster, haven't seen you in a while. This method is only good if the stock increases. Lost with Kohls. Now, Nupster, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I'll take your word for it that you lost with Kohls. I still have Kohls, and I haven't lost yet. Oshi 206. Kramer! Yeah, okay. What do you think is an undervalued stock with a high dividend yield? Let's play best and worst. Interesting name. Okay. I'm not quite sure you understand what it is I do here. So just sit, chill, watch, absorb, and then hit me back with that question later on. Now I'm going to be done at 11:30. So ask me that question again around 11:15. See if if nothing has been resolved in your head since then. Jamar wants to take a look at Nike. People don't even realize the gold you're giving out. Hey, Paul, how you doing today? Thank you, Paul. So let's take a look at Nike. I like Nike, and I did buy Nike earlier this year. Oh, wait a minute, no, last year, just after the Olympics. Because after this thing dropped, see this right here? Look at this big, huge hole. That's right when the Olympics were. Just before the Olympics, this thing dropped like a rock. And I bought it right around here. Okay, I made a few dollars off it, and I got off it. But then I keep looking every week to see when a good time is. Hey, Leon May, what's going on? Okay, so Nupster. Nupster, I want to take a look at specifically how did you possibly lose with Kohl's? The only way you can lose, all right, is by consciously agreeing with yourself to sell it for less than what you paid for it. That's the only way you could possibly lose. Because look at here, this is Nike. Okay, the high of the year for Nike was at 97.50. 97.50. Look where it is now. It's at 65. That's a $32 drop. $32 drop. Now, if I bought it up here, now it's worth $32 less. The only way I'm going to lose is if I sell it for less than what I paid for it. Okay, and I refuse to sell anything for a loss because we're into the 13th week of the quarter. I got 7 accounts and I've taken 0 losses so far this year. Now, each account I have has plenty of shares in it. That one has 9. This one has 7. Okay. Oops, I looked at that one. Now 7. All right. This one has 8. And then I have 7. I just showed you 3 of them. So I have 4 more after that. So I have 0 losses in 13 weeks from all 7 of my accounts. I refuse to take a loss. The only way you could possibly lose is to agree within your head that, hey, stock's going down, I'll take the loss. Okay, it ain't nobody's fault but your own for taking for a loss. Now, Kohl's has been in business for a hell of a long time. The cost per share, well, let's take a look at Kohl's for a second. Hold on a second. I'm going to come back to Nike. Okay, now, the high of the year is at $29. Well, right now, it's at $9. Yeah, that is a 70% drop. However, if you agree to take that loss, that's on you. Because let's go take a look at the numbers on Kohl's. I need my glasses for this one. Okay, I want to look at the statistics for Kohl's. It's at $8.95. Okay, return on assets 2.2%, operating margin 3.5%, revenue 16 billion, revenue per share. Do you see this? Revenue per share. Now I want you to remember some of these numbers. Okay, so write the numbers down and remember them. Revenue per share, $146 per share. Okay? That's revenue per share. Book value, $34.25 per share. Okay? Now, the dividend forward and dividend annual yield is 5.46%. Okay, great. All right, so now let's compare it to one of the hot stocks, NVIDIA. Yes, I'm picking on NVIDIA. NVDA. Because in my humble opinion, it's one of the most extreme, okay? $113 a share. Huge difference. Okay, market cap, 2.9 trillion, blah, blah, blah. Profit margin, 55%. Return on assets, revenue per share, $5.31. Do you know what that means? Well, that means Kohl's has less shares, but has more value per share. NVIDIA has more shares, but they have less value. Okay, well, let's go down a little bit further. Book value per share. $3.24. $3.24 per share. Now, look at your dividend, your forward annual dividend yield, 0.04%. Now, strictly by the numbers, Kohl's is a hell of a lot better buy than NVIDIA. So why is NVIDIA at 112 and Kohl's at 9? The numbers are so much in favor of Kohl's and so against NVIDIA. So what is it that the public is not thinking through? Well, they're not thinking through the numbers. They're not looking at hard logic. They're listening to the crap on TV and radio. Oh, buy NVIDIA. It's the next hot thing. It's only the next hot thing because everybody's been buying it. The numbers do not compute properly. The numbers are what the numbers are. Okay, you're buying NVIDIA, you're getting 0.04%. You have any idea how long it's going to take you to double your money at 0.04? That's freaking horrible. Anyway, I rest my case. So I'm terribly sorry that you lost Kohl's. But I'm not going to enable you. I'm not going to tell you, oh, poor you shouldn't have done that. Well, it's your own damn fault. You buy something at a certain price. If you sell for less than what you paid for it, nobody to blame but yourself. If I bought it for 20 bucks and now it's worth 8 and I sell it at 8, nobody to blame but myself. Did you actually take a look at the numbers? Is it worth what it's worth? Or what is it worth? Anyway, I'm going to move on. Because I always tell people it's your own responsibility. It's your money. You are responsible for it. If you're not willing to take a little bit of time to realize what it is you're buying, okay, and you sell it for less when you pay for it, there's nobody else to blame. What do you think of an undervalued stock with a high? You're asking the wrong question. I don't play that game. Should I consider Tesla stock at this low price? I'm new. Oh boy, I just did a big huge rant on taking a look at the numbers. So I'm going to tell you the same thing. I'm not going to repeat my whole speech I just gave. When you're considering buying anything, actually take a look at the numbers, the hard numbers. What is the company actually really worth? Okay, how much money have you lost as a trader? Huh. Well, now that's a weird question because I've been trading for 20 years. Okay, this year I've lost 0. Last year, I think I lost maybe 1 or 2 trades last year. But for the most part, I did freaking fantastic last year. And I did pretty good the year before and the year before. But in my 20-year period, in 1 week I lost 91,000 because I was freaking stupid and arrogant. But that was my own fault. Tesla, that's a no. Luigi. Now, Luigi, you can't really say that. Some people like Tesla. Okay? No. I can't tell you what to do. Okay, was that Mach 4? Oh, Mach and 4. All right, so Mach and 4, I can't tell you what to do. Okay? I can suggest that you go to a financial website. I like Yahoo Finance. Because Yahoo Finance gives me a lot of information. So let's throw in Tesla here for a second. TSLA. All right. So Tesla is at 272 at the moment. Okay. Well, it's at 268 after hours. All right. It is what it is. Slide down. Profit margin 7%, return on assets 4%, return on equity 10%, revenue 97 billion. Revenue per share $30.56. I don't know, is that good? Book value $22 per share. Dividends, 0 dividends, 0 dividends, 0 dividends, 0 dividends, 0 dividends. Yeah, no, I don't do Tesla because they don't share their profits. Now, it could be a good stock if you want to buy it and hold on for 10, 15, 20 years, because that's what people normally do with stocks. Okay, if you're not a trader and you're not looking for cash flow, if you're looking for capital appreciation, that might be for you. Me, I'm looking for cash flow. I want a check that I can spend every every 5 days, or I should say every week. Okay, what else do we have here? Paul, it's all about the numbers, and your system has shown me how amazing the numbers are. Started with you in July, and I'm up 45%. Okay, that's awesome, Paul. Paul, as I recall, I haven't got my Christmas present yet, dude. No, I'm glad you're doing good, Paul. Good for you. George, it also depends on how much you have to throw into the kitty. Okay, George, I'm going to agree with you there, but here's the thing, George. If you don't start, you never can finish. Okay, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single footstep. So if you're investing, well, you're investing, it starts with the first dollar you put in. And then the next, and then the next. Consistency and tenacity. You keep doing it over and over and over again. Just don't give up. Just keep doing it. Thank you there, George. Yeah, because we're all different. There's a couple hundred people here. Okay, I get 7 channels going. Okay, 7 channels. So there's a lot of people here. We're all different. We all probably, I don't think there's 2 of us here that have the exact same amount in. Okay, now I have 7 accounts. 7 accounts, each one has a different number in it. All right, let's keep on going. Joseph Quinn, how you doing? John Thomas Gasper. Test. All right. 75 Corvette. I missed that one. Uh-oh. All right. I have to go back. Oh, here we go. I think this is where I am. All right. This is where I am. All righty. Sandra. What is the title of the video? Sandra, I'm not quite sure what you mean by what is the title of the video. Leon Me, are there any stocks that go from $10 to like $100 in a short time? If so, how do I find them? You're in the wrong place, dude. I'm not looking for capital appreciation. I'm looking for cash flow. Huge difference. And there are stocks that go from $10 to $100 quickly. Don't know how you find them, but I hear stories and I see stories every once in a while. All right. John Thomas Gasper, how you doing? Joseph Quinn, how you doing? Ricardo, how are you? 75 Corvette. I don't shower or shave every day. All right, 75 Corvette. Didn't really need to know that, but okay. Where can I find if the stock has weekly options? CBOE.com. Chicago Board of Options Exchange.com. Or you can find it in Google Finance. Yeah, that could work too. George, are there any foreign accounts, say like the Philippines, you can think of? Not that I know of. David G, how you doing? Giovanni Clark, what's happening? He said 35,000 here is poverty for sure. Yep. Johnny D, what's happening? Lashar, hey James, I joined your Patreon. Cool beans. We'll see you tomorrow then. Pedro, ¿qué pasa, Pedro? ¿Cómo está? All right. Paul, thank you for that link. Rocco da Papa. How you doing, Rocco da Papa? Good for you. Jersey, hello. Voss, good evening. David Lopez. Oh, options. Yep. Okay, so Pedro wants to take a look at Target. Oh, wait a minute. Weren't we doing Nike? We were doing Nike a minute ago. Oh, so let me finish up with Kohl's. So yeah, Kohl's looks bad. It does, seriously. Now, I'll admit, Kohl's look bad. Now, I originally jumped into Kohl's at 22. Okay? Then I bought some at 18, bought some at 16, I bought some at 10. So now my average price, my dollar cost average, is at 16. So I'm in it at 16. And right now it's at 9. But I'm not panicking because here's the thing. I collect a premium on Kohl's every single week. Also, I collect the dividend on Kohl's every 90 days. And they do increase their dividends. George, how do you find index funds? I don't do index funds. Sorry. Okay, the index funds, if you take a look at the numbers, seriously, take a look at the numbers. What do they pay on a weekly, monthly, annual basis? What is the yield? And then go from there. I don't do that. All right, Kohl's. All right, so anyway, it's up here, and now we're down here. Now, am I going to sell at a loss? Hell no, because I get a premium on Kohl's every single week. So let's take a look now. Now, I'm into Kohl's, like I said, at right around 16. Okay, so 16 is not even on this chart. So if I'm in it at 16, well, I'm sure not going to sell the 8s or the 9s because that just doesn't make sense. Okay? I will probably do the 950s or the 10s. Now, the 950s and the 10s are giving less than 1%. Well, here's the thing. Less than 1%, even a 0.5%, is still 26% for the year. Well, when's the last time you got 26% per year? And I honestly don't care if it keeps on dropping. Because if the stock keeps on dropping, I'm just going to lower my strike price. And take a look at the numbers. What are the numbers telling you? Now, most people normally buy a stock and hold it for decades. Well, you bought it and you sold it at a loss. Okay? That's rule number 2. Never sell at a loss. And rule number 1, never buy something unless you're willing to hold it for the rest of your life. Why would you invest your money into something you're not sure about? Anyway, let's keep on going. Oh, Kohl's. All right, last 30 days. Okay, clear to see. 30 days ago, we're up here. Okay, big drop. Here's the bottom here. Now it's going up very slowly. Okay, so if I'm just jumping in, I'm paying $9. Selling the 9, it's going for 31 cents. That's more than 3%. Why the hell would I want to get rid of it? But I'm not selling the 9s because right now it's at $8.95. That's too close for comfort for me. So I will do the 950s or the 10s. Well, the 10s are going for 6 cents to 10 cents. And that's still a nice amount on a weekly consistent basis. And it's 3 strikes out of the money, which means the stock is here. It would have to go up to here in order for me to lose any money. But if that happened, I'd either buy it back or I'd push it forward. There's always opportunities to make money without losing. You never lose until you agree to sell for less than you paid for it. Now, if the company's not consistently profitable, meaning they don't give you profits every single quarter or every 90 days, and if they don't increase it every 90 days, well, then why the hell are you buying it in the first place? Rule number 1, never buy something you don't understand. Rule number 2, never sell at a loss. It defeats the purpose. And I'm terribly sorry you lost, but like I said, never buy something you don't understand. Thank you, Jamar. George, dividend achievers, contenders, aristocrats, champions, kings, Warren Buffett says exactly. Dark, I'm trading cryptocurrency for 4 years for now. I love cryptocurrency. I made a lot of money out of it. Do you do cryptocurrency? No, Dark, I do not. Now, there's a reason why I don't do cryptocurrency. I'm 61. No desire whatsoever to go back to work. Okay, cryptocurrency is not regulated. That means it could jump up, it could disappear into oblivion. And a lot of cryptos, coins, have disappeared in the last 5 or 10 years. Yeah, I have no desire to do that. Okay? Not until there is some kind of stability and some kind of way to safely invest in cryptocurrency for weekly cash flow with no risk. And at this moment in time, there isn't any. Should I stock on asset based on 6 months of results for short term gain? Okay, Vamp Fang, not 100% sure what you mean by that, Leon. How do you make money in the stock market your way, like cash flow? Dark, you are 100% true. Oh, thank you for that. Now, Dark, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love the idea of cryptocurrency. I do. It's an awesome idea. But without certain regulations, without certain safeguards, it becomes risky. If there was, I don't know, some kind of governing body to say, you can do this, you cannot do that, then there are no options available. It's like, all right, so a Bitcoin's at, I don't know, let's say 75,000 today. Okay, can I buy an option to buy it at 75,000 and sell it to somebody else so that if it goes up, I make money? That's not available in the crypto market yet. I say yet because it's still new. Thank you for adding more hatred for crypto for me. I really don't like that junk. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not adding hatred to it. I love the idea of it. Get it out of the greedy little fingers of the bankers and give it to the people. Let the people decide. Well, right now, there are too many crooked people out there ripping people off. And it does happen. So that's why I'm staying away from crypto at the moment until it stabilizes. And once it stabilizes, I'll be more than happy to jump into it. But not until then. Okay, the stock market's been around for 400 years. 400 years. Crypto hasn't even been around for 25 yet. So we've got a long way to go. So me, safety, predictability, and consistency. That's what I'm looking for. And you can't get that with cryptocurrency. Okay? It's a young man's game, in my opinion. But I have been wrong before. Okay, so let's keep on keeping on. Dave Lopez, how you doing? Max Kreider, cool beans, Max. User 7172, blah, blah, blah. Steve, good evening, and how are you today? Jersey, hello. Hexus, how many stocks actually pay a weekly dividend? 0. So, Hexus, how are you doing this evening? Now, never once did I say stocks pay weekly dividends. I said I use dividend stocks for weekly cash flow, is what I said. Monday can't come fast enough when we make our money. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. That was Paul. Leon, okay. Okay, Dark. Yes, sir, I'm doing arbitrage when you buy a specific coin from exchange and sell it to another exchange for 1% or higher profit. I've been doing this for a while. Really a good opportunity to profit. Yes, but there's no guarantees and there's no consistency. Where a stock option is a legal binding contract. Legal binding contract. You don't get that in cryptocurrency. So, again, and don't get me wrong, eventually it might come true. Nicole, what's up from Bristol? All right. Okay, Rodigan. Didn't we just talk about Coney a little while ago? It's on Charles Schwab. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Pamela. Oh, that was nice of you, Pamela. Mr. Blast, what's happening? What are the reasons to roll an option? Papa Louse, how are you today? All right, the reasons to roll an option are quite simple. Number one, you're looking for cash flow. You're looking to buy something at one price, sell it at another price, or sell something at one price and buy it back at a lower price. Whatever you're doing. Okay, you have to enter, you have to exit, and then there's a result. So A plus B equals C. Okay, so you can get C plus A equals B. However you want to do it, it all comes the same. You got to buy something, you got to sell something. All right, so what is the reasoning to roll it forward? Well, if you buy the stock at a certain price, and it goes up slowly, and you have the opportunity to roll it forward and collect another 1 or 2% without doing anything else, well, that's a good reason to do it. Now, if the stock drops to a certain price, well, there's no reason to roll it then. It's always about the numbers. What are the numbers telling you? What did I buy it for? What did I sell it for? Okay, great. Well, where's it? Today's Wednesday. Where's it at now? All right, well, what if I tried to roll it forward? What can I get? Is it worth it? It always comes down to the numbers. Okay, if I want to buy back an option I sold on forward or roll it forward, well, what is it going to cost me and what are the benefits? Okay, what's the pros? What's the cons? And it's really easy once you come up with the numbers. George wants to take a look at Philip Morris. All right, hold on. Okay, Leon May, what are some stocks you invest in? I've been in the markets less than a year. Okay, Leon, what stocks I like: Dividend Kings, Dividend Aristocrats, Dividend Champions, Dividend Contenders, Warren Buffett's list. That's about 300 stocks right there. It's a good start. Okay, George wants to take a look at Philip Morris. Hold on, we haven't finished Nike yet. Okay, so here's Kohl. Let's go to Nike, NKE. Now, we were looking at Nike before we got interrupted with Kohl's. All right. Here's Nike. A year ago, we're at 92. We jump up to 97, have this big drop here just before the Olympics. Down, up, down, up. So now we are here at 55, or that's 65. At 65. Okay, so the high, the low, look at what it did. Sideways, down, up, down, up, down. All right, right now is not a great time to get into Nike. I'm not even going to look at the numbers because look at where we are right now. Okay, that is definitely going down. Now, this is worthy of keeping our eye on because, hypothetically speaking, okay, as soon as it finds the bottom and starts to turn around, go up, well, that's a great time to jump in and buy it. Well, that's what I'm counting on. So I'm going to put Nike down for next week because as soon as it finds the bottom, I like that. And it's, I already have it written down. So I already wrote it down yesterday or the day before. Okay. Dino P60. Hey, James, I'm interested in what you're doing. Can we talk? Okay, Dino P60. Sure we can. Up in the top left-hand corner, you'll see a link to my, what do you call that? My bio. In there, you can send me a DM, a direct message, or you can send me an email. But if you're really adventurous, you can go over to YouTube channel and dig and find my phone number. Because, yep, it's there. Because I've had that YouTube channel for, oh my goodness, 15, 20 years. All right, anyway. Thoughts on EuroCAD. Okay, Oscar Stenberg, you got to give me the ticker symbol. Okay, without the ticker symbol, it's not going to do me any good. 75 Corvette wants to take a look at Mara. Okay, Philip. Okay, let's look at Philip Morris first. How rolling forward? Oh, second. Oh, seasonal Nike. Yep. Yeah. Okay, no sense looking at the seasonality on Nike because it's the wrong time. It's in a downturn. So as soon as the downturn stops, then we can take a look at deeper look. Okay, so we're going to take a look at Philip Morris because George wants to take a look at Philip Morris. PM, Philip Morris. So we're going to say no to Philip Morris for this week. Now, the reason I'm saying no for this week, look where it is. That's the high of the year. That's where it is. You know, I don't want to play in that playground. Sorry. I'll wait for it to come down. Because look, okay, up, down, 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 up, down. So it goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it goes down. So as soon as it comes back down again, I'll take a look and go there. I'll put Philip Morris on for 2 weeks and see what happens. Okay, Dark, you can call it overbought if you want. You can put whatever words you want on it. What I say is like, it goes up. Now there's profit taking. When profit taking takes place, the stock comes down. Then it goes up. It gets too high. People take profits and it comes down. Okay? Okay, then it goes up. People take profits, then it comes down. See, we buyers and sellers, there's a lot of people out there just like me. take a look at Philip Morris and say, wait a second. Okay, this is kind of high. Let me take my profits. And once it goes down to a certain point, ooh, good deal. Let me buy those. Then it jumps up. Okay, if you follow a stock long enough, like we do, every single day, you get pretty familiar with what it does. It goes up for a couple of weeks. People take the profits. It comes down for a week. Goes up for a couple of weeks. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for patterns, and we're looking for ways to take advantage of that. Dark. George, when you write it down, how much do you invest? About 20%. Dark, you are the expert. I'm just learning from you since I won't stop learning about stocks and crypto. Cool beans. Okay, Leon, when is the best place to get into a trade? Because I have a problem on doing that, because every time I invest, the stock drops a lot and I lose money. So how do I stop that? Number one, okay, Leon, you're not going to like this one. You ready? Give your account to your wife. Women make better traders than men. Sorry, guys. Okay? They're logical. Okay? They will come up. They strictly by the numbers. A plus B equals C. Guys don't want to ask for help. Guys don't want to admit they're wrong. And guys will bury their heads in the sand, stick their, yeah, no. Okay? Women make better traders. Terribly sorry. It's a numbers game. Okay? Decide what it is. She goes up, not the time to buy. Right up here, too high, don't buy it. Okay, number two, strictly a numbers game. Okay, paper trade until you get it right. Stop trying to hit a home run. Okay, unless you're somebody, it's not even him. Okay, now Babe Ruth used to have the record for the number one home runs. He also had the record for the most strikeouts. Okay, so what is it you want to do? Do you want to be consistently getting on base, get on first base every single time you're up? Eventually, you are going to win. Because 1% a week is not a whole lot of money. Hey, Nikki, what's happening, Nikki? Oh, that was a nice explanation. I forgot what I was explaining, but okay. All right, Eurocat, you got to give me the ticker symbol. Okay. 75 Corvette wants to take a look at Mara. Leon, you must learn about risk management. Don't be emotional. Greedy. Don't be emotional or greedy. Set your goals. Set your stop losses. Now, I'm going to disagree with him on one thing. I don't do stop losses. Sorry. Because stop losses means you're going to take a loss. Okay, if you have a stock and you buy it here and you have a stop loss, and it comes down a little bit, you're going to be called out with that loss. My thinking, never buy a stock you don't want to hold for the rest of your life. That's it. If I'm going to buy Philip Morris at 154, I will hold on to that, and I will, over my dead body, will I sell that for less than what I paid for it. That's my philosophy. I don't want to take a loss. And if I felt that way, I wouldn't have bought it in the first place. Number one, never buy something you don't understand. Make sure you understand the risks involved. Look, the high, 160. The low, was it 87? That's almost a 50% difference. So look at what the high of the year is. Look at what the low of the year is. How close to the high of the year is it? How close to the low of the year is it? That's where it can fluctuate. And if it can fluctuate 50, 60, 70%, and that makes you uncomfortable, don't do it. It's that simple. Never buy something you don't understand. Okay? You know what I find interesting about what those healthy drinks? Some of them taste gross. So I got like 4 healthy drinks all mixed together. Rather than taking them, individual, take this one, this one, this one, and this one. Yeah, I just throw them all in the same container, drink them all at once. It tastes a hell of a lot better than one at a time. And then one at a time, I'm drinking way too much shit, and I end up staying up all night. Okay, anyway, let's keep. Oh, Warren Mara. Sorry about that. I get carried away. I got that squirrel. I got that squirrel complex. I get sidetracked easily, and I have no problem admitting it. All right, Mara, M-A-R-A. High, low, where was it? Where's it? Look at the movement. Down, up, down, up, down, up. 1388. The 14s is going for 61. That's over 3%. Or is that more? What is it going for? The 14s, 61. How many 14s? 4, 28, 48, 48, 50. That's 5%. Holy shit. All right, so Marriott's paying 5%. All right, let's take a look at the numbers. A year ago, where are you? There it is right there. A year ago, 2063. Okay, down, up, down, up. The high of the year was the end of November at $30. Okay, that's uncomfortable right there. Okay, last November it's at $30. Now it's at $13.79. How does that make you feel? Me? I don't mind because I buy, I sell, I buy, I sell. I don't get stuck on anything too long. I mean, for active trading, for short-term, long-term trading, is definitely you don't have to set stop losses. Okay, I don't set stop losses at all. Like Over the Hedge movie. Not quite sure. I didn't see the Over the Hedge movie. What site are you on? What do you use for trading? Oh, this is Think or Swim. It's owned by Charles Schwab. King. So if I invest 10,000 and get 1% a week, I'll get $100. Yeah. But $100 every week for the year, that's $5,200. Okay, that's 50%. That's more than 50%. Anyway, yeah, roughly. As long as you don't take any losses and do anything crazy. All right, so let's continue with Mara. Sorry, I do own some Mara, just in case I forgot to mention that. The last 30 days, right there, here we go. Okay, so 30 days ago, we're right here. Okay, shoots up here, drops down, shoots back up. Now it's coming back down again. So it's not the best time to jump into Mara, in my humble opinion, for me. I don't give suggestions. I don't give recommendations. So I do have it. Okay, but as you can see, 30 days ago we're here. She jumps up nicely. Profit taking brings it down to here. Now she jumped up again. Now she's coming back down again. They go up, they go down. That's it. Okay, so Mara is going to be, what, next week? Or the week after? 2 weeks. Mara in 2 weeks. Tra-la-la. M-A-R-A, 2 weeks. All right, it's starting to get warm in here. Give me 1 second. All right. Whew, that's a little better. All right. Let's keep on going. Ooh, somebody wants to take a look at Pfizer. CMAR, thank you. Warrior X. What's happening? CXND. Okay, well, I can't even pronounce that one, but welcome. Tam Tam. Oh, my goodness. Tam Tam is new here. Does anybody want to explain to Tam Tam why we don't look at PLTR? Jamar wants to take a look at Pfizer. Oh, boy. Pfizer, PFE. PFE. Here we go. Pfizer. We're going to say no to Pfizer. Okay, wasn't that quick? We didn't even look at anything. And I said no. Why? Well, remember I said it should take you 3 seconds to take a look at the chart. Okay, high, low, where was it? Where is it? Look at this. Where is it going? Down, up, sideways. Well, right here, look at that. That's why I said no. Okay, not that, now Pfizer is in my roster, which means I do trade Pfizer when the timing's right. Look at this right here. Here's your top here, coming down. Now we're bottom fishing. We're looking for the bottom. I don't buy as it's dropping. I wait for it to hit bottom, turn around, and then go back up again. That's what I'm looking for. And when it hits the bottom, see right here, bottom, turn around, go up. 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 That's what I'm looking for. Bottom, we have no idea where the bottom is yet. So I'm going to write it down for next week because that bottom could show up any day. Pfizer, PFE. Here we go, right here. PFE for next week. All right. Are you the owner of a Roblox? Never heard of it, so I'm going to say no. How about NVIDIA? Okay, Dark. NVIDIA has crappy dividends and a crappy book value. My opinion, it's way overpriced, way too many shares. So no to NVIDIA. And we already looked at it earlier today. You know, how long should I hold on a trade before I sell? As long as it's making you 1% or more every single week, never sell it. All right, so what do we have over here? Okay, Tam wants to look at PLTR. Now, Tam, what I tell everybody is before I look at anything, I want to make sure it's consistently profitable, which means does it offer dividends and do those dividends increase for 2 decades? PLTR, no, doesn't. Natalie, good evening. Tracy, good evening. King Zion, I am not the owner of Roblox, never even heard of it. Jamar wants to take a look at Intel. Oh, I love Intel, and I actually have some Intel. So there you go. That's an idea. Okay, the high, the low, where was it? Where is it? Look at what it's doing. Down, sideways, down, sideways. Down, we're at 23.42. 23.50 is going for 78 cents. That's 3%. Well, let's do a sampling on this if the chart tells us. Well, let's take a look. A year ago, it was the high of the year. I need glasses for this one. 45.65. Okay, do you see that? 45.65 is the high of the year. Where is it now? 23. That is almost a 50% drop. Actually, it's more than a 50% drop because it drops right here around 18. Well, that's more than 50% drop. But I still like Intel because the numbers are awesome. And if I buy it, I have no intention on selling it for less than I paid for it. But if I can consistently get 1% every week, why would I ever get rid of it? If I understand you well, you won't invest in MPW because they are at an all-time high for EX dividend. Ramza, I actually own some MPW. Now, I'm going to show you the numbers for MPW, and then you explain it to me. All right, so just hold on one second. All right. Let's keep taking a look at Intel. So the bottom, the high of the year, 45.47. The bottom of the year is at 18.57. That's more than a 50% drop. Okay, the last 90 days, okay, the high and the low, where was it, where is it? Look at the motion, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. See, it's coming down right now, so I'm going to say no for the moment, but I will put Intel. Well, it's irrelevant for me to put Intel on the list because I already own it, which means I look at it every day anyway. But as to a new buying opportunity, I'd wait for the bottom and then for it to turn around before I jump into it if I liked Intel. All right, if I never sell the trade, then how do I make money if I never put the money out? Pull the money out. Okay, Leon, you weren't paying attention. Now, when I say I do covered calls, a covered call is where you buy a stock and you sell a stock option against it, selling somebody the rights to buy it from you at a certain price by a certain date. Okay, now if you have any confusion about covered calls, there are literally hundreds of videos that you can access on YouTube or any video station that teaches you about the covered call. Covered calls is simple, one of the simplest, safest trading strategies there is. And you can do a covered call in your IRA. So if you can do it, it must be okay. Oh yeah, we said no to Intel because it's coming on the downside at the moment. 75 Corvette, it's over 9. I knew it was 9 something. What do you trade? Jack Leibel, what do I trade? Dividend Kings, Dividend Aristocrats, Dividend Champions, Dividend Contenders. And let's just throw in Warren Buffett's list. About 300. That's about 300 different companies to look at. 300. Now, there's over 9,976 different companies to choose from. But I only like those 300. That's it, because they're consistently profitable. Hexus 104, good evening. Ding Donger. Ding Donger? Ding Donger? Ding Donger. All right, Ding Donger. Who came up with that song? Wasn't that, I don't know, was that Chuck Berry? Once I was climbing the garden wall. I slipped and had a terrible fall. Rebecca, how you doing? Oh, that's my ding-a-ling. Sorry. That was Chuck Berry. All right. All right. T9VX6. Okay, good evening. Chris Moneymaker wants to take a look at Coca-Cola. Now, Coca-Cola has been in business for over 100 years. Okay, they are a dividend king, which means they have increased their profits for more than 5 continuous decades. That means 50 years, higher and higher and higher and higher and higher dividends every single year. Never going backwards, but always profitable. Well, why the hell not jump into Coca-Cola? Let's take a look at numbers and see if it's a good idea. Well, as you can plainly see, okay, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. That's all they do. Just follow along. Follow the leader every single day. It's going up, it's going down. Great. Where did I jump in? What does it mean? What can I do? Am I profitable? Am I not? It's not that difficult. All right. Interesting. High, low, was, is. Look at the direction. Okay, simple. All right, it's currently at 70 bucks. Okay, 69, 79, closest one's going to be 70. The 70 is going 76 to 82. Well, that is over 1%. So if it's over 1%, the company's been in business for over 150 years, or 140 years, whatever. Wait a minute, 23, 18, all right, anyway, over 100 years. So is it in your portfolio? Should it be in your portfolio? Well, look at it. It goes up, it goes down. Okay, up, down, up, down. Now it's turning around, going back up again. Well, let's zoom in and see what it looks like. Okay, a year ago, we're at $60.50. Okay, the bottom of the year was the second week of April last year. She shoots up to the high. The high of the year was the beginning of September, and that was 73.53. Okay, and then she drops again right around January, shoots back up, back down again, and here's where we are now. Look at your last 30 days. Okay, here's your last 30 days. 30 days ago, we're at 70.50, shoots up to 73, drops back down to 68. Well, now we're going back up again. High, bottom, now she's going back up. Well, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. 30 days ago, she shoots up, drops, now she's going back up again. That's all stocks do. They go up and then they go down. Guess what happens after that? They go up again. And would you believe after that, they go back down? That's all they do. They go up, they go down. That's it. All right, so let's do a covered call. Now, remember I said I'm going to show you a couple of trades. Well, we're going to take a look at Coca-Cola. You ready? At 70 bucks. Let's get rid of this. Let's change this right here where it says single. We're going to change that to a covered call or covered stock. So click on that. It says covered stock right there. Everything changes. Now we like the $70 right there. See, here's the call strikes. 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, so on and so forth. That's not even all of them. That's only 8. Okay, we could look at all of them. Okay, watch this. Okay, there's all of them. Okay, goes all the way to 40, 45, 50, 55, 56, 57, 58, all the way to where it is now. I don't want to look at all those. It's too much. Too much. The 70. There it is right there. Okay, now I only want to do one contract. This was that algebra comes in handy. It's high school. Okay, a market order. Confirm and send. Okay, now I'm going to read you the order. I always tell people, read it out loud so that you can hear it. So I want to buy one contract or one covered call of Coca-Cola. Okay, 100, which is the weeklies, for April 25. Well, that's next Friday. The $70 call option against the stock, Coca-Cola, at the market to open to open. Remember, it's 2 orders. Okay, it's buying the stock, selling the option to open to open. Okay, the maximum profit, $100. Okay, so let's check this out. And I want to show you something here with Coca-Cola that I haven't shown yet. So, and I'm going to explain it also, and hopefully try and explain to you what the risks are. All right, so get the calculator. My profit right there, $100. And then to find the profit, the rate of return, the ROI, rate of return, rate on investment, return on investment, ROI. Rate of return is ROR, rate of return. Okay, anyway, and divided by this right here. Cost of the trade, including commissions and fees. Well, $6,900.66. Okay, divided by 6,966 cents. That gives me a total return of 1.44. Now, wouldn't it be great to do this every single week with Coca-Cola? Well, the funny thing about it is, once you jump in to Coca-Cola, the current price, $69. The current price, $69.79. Well, I can sell the 70s every single week. But as the stock goes up and the stock goes down, what is going to be the value? So you always got to keep in consideration, what did you jump on the merry-go-round? Because that's basically what it is. Merry-go-round goes round and round and round and round every week. Week after week after week after week. So what did you jump in on? Me, if I'm looking at this, $69.79. If I'm selling the 70, I'm picking up $100 for every one contract. Every contract is going to cost me $6,900. Now, for some of you just starting out, that may sound like a lot. Well, this stock is a $70 stock. If that's too much money, we'll go to a $4 stock, a $5 stock, a $20 stock. Now, there are over 9,976 stocks out there to choose from. However, only about half of them have options. So the other half don't even come into play. All right, so let's get out of this. Let's get out of that. Let's change this back to single, and let's go back to here. Now we are back again. All right, so, it's 11:16. That means no more stocks for the evening. We're just going to answer questions, all right? I will be back again tomorrow night. So tomorrow night is my Friday night. So tomorrow night, then I don't do Friday night and I don't do Saturday night. I'll be back again Sunday, but I will be here tomorrow night. If I never saw, okay, Lena Wayne, what is your favorite stock that you have invested in? I would have to say Macy's and Ford, because those are the ones that are most consistently profitable for me. For me, it was kind of weird because Macy's went from, I think it was like 26 to 28 last year, and it dropped all the way down to 15. And I tell everybody I made over 50% on Macy's. Well, how the hell can you do that if the stock dropped? Well, that's why people come here. Okay, if I'm consistently making a profit every single week of 1% or more in a down market, well, what the hell can you guys do? What can I do in an up market? Unfortunately, in an up market, it's still the same, 1% a week. All right, so let's keep on going. Hexus, how you doing? Vicky Dillon, good evening again. David, how are you doing? What if we only have a laptop and a phone? Well, that's all I have, a laptop and a phone. Okay, I don't even need my laptop because I can trade right from my phone. Vicky Dillon, thank you for that. Ron Hillford, how are you doing? Pink Panther, what about XRP? You're new here, dude. XRP is not a dividend stock. MSTR doesn't have 20 years of increased profits. What do you think about Ford? Nearly 2% for next week. My question is, the value too high? Yeah, well, take a look at Ford. Now, don't get me wrong. I have some Ford, but I wouldn't be jumping into Ford. Okay? Look. Today is the high of a 30-day period. Okay? Now, I'm into Ford somewhere around 970, I think. Somewhere around here. So, yeah, I'd like to get rid of my Ford this week. Buying it now? No, I don't buy at the high. Okay, I buy when it's low. Buy low, sell high. Hexus, good evening. All righty. 75 Corvette. Yep, I'm a girl. Oh, 75 Corvette, you're a girl? Cool bean. Didn't even know. Didn't even ask. Don't even care. As far as I'm concerned, you're a 75 Corvette. Nice lines. Don't take that improperly. But a 75 Corvette has nice lines to it. What program do you use? Edwards World. This is Think or Swim. It's not a program, okay? It's actual trading platform, and it's available through Charles Schwab. Thank you, 75 Corvette. Saves me from telling him to do that. Holy shit, I got 99 questions. Damn it. I meant the screen you're using. Is it proprietary? No, it's free to use. Okay, you can go to thinkorswim.com and download it for free. Mark, causes going to be closing a lot of stores. Okay, that could be it. Edwards World, Cool Beans, J Diva. Good evening, J Diva. Mark, Kohl's is closing a lot of stores. Yeah, I'm well aware they are. There's a reason why. Okay, the reason why is because the previous administration did not want to prosecute theft. So people thought it was a free-for-all. And yeah, there are plenty of videos where people walking in stores, stealing shit, and then leaving. Hey, Wizard's Chest, back again. Alan Miller, good evening. My boy, what we got cooking today? I hit a nice pop on Pepsi. Cool beans. Holy shit, I still got 100 questions. It's true, James is giving best advice and really patient. Thank you for that. Raul, ¿qué pasa, amigo? Wizard's Chest. Why do you need 7 accounts? Just curious. Hey, Wizard's Chest. I got 7 accounts because I don't trust the freaking government. Okay? Yeah, because they can, seize 1 or 2 accounts, but can they really do all 7? Especially if they're not all in my name. Okay, what program am I using? We already fixed that one out. King, how do you get the seasonality chart on Thinkorswim? Simple. You come up to here where it says Style. You click on Style. Slide down where it says Chart Mode. over here, you got standard monkey bars, and you got seasonality right there. 75 Corvette. You know Pepsi bought Poppy Soda in March. I believe a great addition. Cool beans. Cinders 44. Good evening. Charlie and Charlie and Surmu. Good evening. Aspiring. Good evening. Macron Cardona. Earn. Okay. King, I think those are on Google Finance. How long do you need to hold for a weekly dividend? Okay, Young Flowers, how are you today? Now, Young Flowers, I don't know of any company that pays a weekly dividend. Now, when I say dividend investing for weekly cash flow, I'm sorry that you took the interpretation that they companies that have weekly dividends. No, they have weekly stock options. So if I use a dividend stock in order to collect a weekly return using a weekly stock option, that's how we get it. Mike Pisek, we go get it tomorrow. Mike, how do you feel about REITs that pay monthly? Some of them are good, depending on the numbers. Paul, Kohls, we already looked at it. Sometimes you get caught in a margin call if it goes down enough. Okay, Corvette, you're absolutely 100% right. Mako Cardona. Okay, we can take a look at Earn tomorrow night. Where do you find that program you're using? Okay, Poppy, thinkorswim.com. And you can download it for free. You can use it for, I believe, for about a month or so before they're going to require you to do something. They want you to give them a call after about a month. All right. Lori, good evening, and how are you today? Laurie Delhez, okay. Tina, for real, how are you doing this evening? John, Kohl's, large drops make good average down opportunities. You're right. Lowering break-even price point versus realized loss. And John, you're absolutely right there also. But also take a good look at the numbers for Kohl's. Ricky Moreno, how are you doing? He doesn't do monthlies. Well, I do monthly dividend companies, but I don't do monthly optional companies. Use Thinkorswim. Thank you, Corvette. Tap the screen. Thank you. I missed a whole bunch. Do you use AI for your trading? Oh, hell no. Sorry, Cody. I don't use AI. I don't trust computers. I seen a 2001: A Space Odyssey. Scared the shit out of me. Okay. I also saw the Terminator movies. Yeah, I don't trust computers. Which is kind of funny because I'm using a computer to talk to you guys. Okay. Noah Hummel, how are you today? ORC, we'll have to take a look at tomorrow. Mike, AGNC, tomorrow. Can I get an opinion on CIVI? Yeah, tomorrow. Kirsten, we are in the highest tax bracket with a long time horizon. We are always told dividends are not for us. All right, Kristen, I'm going to apologize that you've been lied to for as long as you've been lied to. If you want to pay no taxes, it is your right to figure out how to not do that. And there are ways to not have to pay taxes. Now, I don't talk about taxes because me and the IRS have an agreement. I canceled my subscription years ago and they leave me alone. Okay? So you need to figure out what works for you. And if you're worried about taxes, that's like going into a Rolls Royce dealer and asking them, hey, what kind of gas mileage does this thing get? Think about that. AGNC, I love it. Okay, AGNC is good company, but we'll take a look at it tomorrow. Is Ford good for the long haul? Now, Ford's been in business for over 100 years. Now, your opinion of long haul is totally different than mine. Okay, the longest I held on to a company is 9 months. Walmart, cash flow and credit selling. I'm not quite sure if there's a question there or not, Ben, but okay. Vinny, how are you doing today? Vinny Fleury, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Were you reading this-ish? Tyler, 99, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Day trade UNC, I'd have to take a better look at that, but we can take a look tomorrow. Hold on, I got questions over here. Do I use AI for trading? Why not? Because I seen enough of the Terminator movies, and I seen enough of I seen 2001: A Space Odyssey. Yeah, you want to trust a computer with your money? You have fun with that. Sorry, I don't trust these things as far as I can throw them. Banks and hedge funds use AI. Don't you think they know a thing or two about investing? Okay, you explain to me which hedge fund and which bank gets 50% or more for an average of over 15 years. And I'll be more than happy to look at them. All right, guess how much in dollars big money investors have bought in 2025 alone? Don't really care. I have my own issues, and I don't play catch up with, keep up with the Joneses. I honestly really don't care what other people are doing with their investing. I care about my investments. I care about my money. What I'm doing here is I'm sharing my information, my experiences with my money. Okay, and you guys, you find it interesting or you don't. It's that simple. Okay, I created a trading strategy for my 9-year-old daughter back in 2008. Okay, it averages 1% every single week. That's over 50% a year. So I've been averaging over 50% per year, so I thought I'd just share it. Okay? You don't like it? You don't have to be here. And computers? No. I grew up in a time where if it works, leave it alone. Okay? It works fine. Why do I want to mess with it? Crushing retail investors. I agree with that. Most retail investors don't know what they're doing. So if you have a strategy and it consistently works, why would you want to introduce something that you're not familiar with? James has a great point on that. Thank you, Leon. 80% of stock market is currently traded on autopilot with AI. All righty then. Cody, you know what? Cody, what I tell people is, if what you're doing works for you, great. But don't try to convince me what you're doing is right for me, when what I'm doing is perfectly okay for me. No desire to learn AI and no desire to trust a computer with my money. Now, I do have to trust it to do the right trades, but I do want to have some say in the matter. All right. Lisa Berry's 3 does pay dividends, though. Okay. Can you explain the premium? It's like an insurance policy. It's like if you drive a car, you're insuring that car at X amount of dollars if this happens, if that happens. The exact same thing with a stock option. Now, believe it or not, a stock option, a call or a put, is a legal binding contract. For a legal binding contract, you need 4 items: beginning date, ending date, consideration, that's the money, and then meeting of the minds. It means a mutual understanding. Okay, I'm buying a certain stock at a certain price by a certain date. I'm paying this money. There you go. You have beginning date, ending date, consideration, the money, and then a meeting of the minds. I'm buying this stock at this price at this time. That's a legal binding contract. And for that, you need consideration. Consideration is the premium or an insurance payment. Same thing. Cody, also, AI is a tool, not something you give 100% control to. You use it as a tool. Okay, Cody, you're pissing in the wind. Do you understand what that means? Okay, you're trying to rise the tide by peeing in the harbor. You're telling me something that you believe. Hey, perfectly fine. You are 100% entitled to believe whatever you want. But you're asking me if I use AI. I told you no, yet you keep asking why, and you're giving me points as trying to convince me that I should. And I'm not quite, I'm almost 100% guaranteed that you have no idea who you're talking with. Okay, I'm what you call a Gen Xer. We really don't give a shit. And I don't understand why the younger generation doesn't understand that. Plain and simple. I'm a certain age. I grew up a certain set of parameters. Certain things happened in my life to create our little, our little group, our Gen Xers, where we believe what we believe because of all the crap we went through. You can say whatever you want. When I tell you I have no interest in AI at all, yet you keep asking me and you keep pointing out favorable things about it, I honestly don't care. And I don't know why you can't get that. Seriously, I don't. I like to think I have some control over my life. So I do my own money because it works for me. And I'm just sharing what I do. You don't agree with it? Fine. There are other places you probably should be rather than here. Okay, great. You work in a financial firm. Good for you. Yet you're still asking me. All right. I'm not even going to bother. All right. I explain the premium. Fanny, good evening. Betty, how are you doing? David G, what's going on? Do you think Kohl's could go out of business? I seriously doubt it. Okay, now we did a deep dive into Kohl's. Kohl's owns a lot of stuff. Okay, it's not just the stores. It's just not the locations. They have other interests that are in their back pocket. We did the exact same thing with Walgreens. Okay, Walgreens kept dropping and dropping and dropping. And then we get that, well, is Walgreens going to go out of business? No, they own too much stuff. They have too much assets. And they've been in business for over 100 years. They're not really going anywhere. Now, they are being bought out and going private. So that's a totally different story. So once they're going private, nothing we really can do on them anymore. Cody, thank you. You respect my opinion. Now, Cody, if you have in your knowledge a fund that guarantees over 50% per year with no risk to my principal, I'll be more than happy to take a look at it. Okay. Also, here's one for you. If you can show me an AI trading log that has 0 losses in 90 days, hey, that might be something I'm interested in. But I know it doesn't work that way. Hey, Melodic Angie, how are you doing today? 626 Auto Care, what happens if you get called out below your cost basis of 16? If I get called out below my cost basis of 16, I will lose money and it's nobody's fault but my own. Now, I look at my account twice a day, so I am pretty knowledgeable of exactly where all my positions are at all times. So if something happens to me, like I break a leg and I'm stuck in the hospital and I can't get to it, yep, there's the risk for me. Could that happen? Yep, it could. I live in Florida, okay? God's waiting room, all right? So yeah, there's a lot of people that are driving that probably shouldn't be driving. So is there a possibility that I could get in a car accident, get laid up in a hospital, be unconscious for a couple of weeks, and all my positions that are low be called in? Yep, there's that possibility. What are my thoughts on Ford? I love Ford, but at this moment in time, Ford's a bit on the high side for me. Leon May, I was born in 98, and I dislike AI. It's a big pile of crap. It's probably ran by grown adults running around identifying as chairs. What colored chairs? Are they plastic? Are they wood? Are they stainless steel? Anyway, I like that theory, though. All right, Jeff Jerzik. James will roll it out with a higher strike price. Yeah, if I need to. Okay, on Friday, okay, just point out on Jeff's comment here. Okay, I usually buy on Mondays and Tuesdays. Okay, then on Fridays, I do most of my balancing. Okay, because when the market closes at 4 o'clock on Friday, all those weekly options are going to expire. So I want to jump in with enough time to do some mental calculations in my head. Okay, if not, I'll write it down on a piece of paper. What did I buy it at? Okay, if I bought it at 20 bucks and I sold somebody the option to buy it from me at 20 bucks, and right now it's at 25, well, that's going to go away. I'm going to get all my money back and my profit. Okay, well, if I bought it at 20, now it's at 18, well, and I sold the 20 option, well, that's going to expire worthless. Well, next week, I get to do this whole thing again. But what is the best, safest position for me to be in? Now, I think of that twice a day, every single day. I'm retired. I'm 61. I don't have to go to work. So I have something that most people don't have. It's called time freedom. I can come and go as I please. I can take the time required to take a look at my accounts. And it only takes me 15 and 20 minutes every morning. So I'm perfectly okay with it. Zach Gordon, how are you today? Or Zach Gooden, sorry about that. Jules, how are you doing? Leandre Nicole, how are you doing today? Nick, UPS, ask me tomorrow, Nick. Lisa Barrios, good evening. Nike, we looked at Nike earlier, but if you want to take a look at it again tomorrow, I'll be here again tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Azaya Softball, any tips for beginner traders? Yeah, keep coming back. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. Now, I'm usually done at 11:30, and usually people just like me throw you a pitch. If you like this, I have something great for you. Yeah, I'm not going to try to sell you anything. Okay? Seriously. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. Now, I do have stuff for sale. They're in the bio. You guys are big people. You know how to do it. You go to that, and you go, okay, what has he got? Okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't do that. Any tips for beginners? Yeah, keep coming back. Keep asking questions. Never stop asking questions. Tell us about the YouTube page. Well, the YouTube page, the link is right in the bio, right in the top left. You click on that, that'll take you to the website, which will take you to all the social media sites I have, and YouTube is right there. The 10-Minute Trader. Angie, I thought you said you would sell at the same price you bought it for. Sell the same price you bought it for Kohl's. Sell it for the same price I bought it for. Okay, Angie, sorry, it's late at night. My thoughts are getting scrambled, and I'm not 100% sure. I know we had a chat today. I thought you said you would sell it at the same price you bought it for. Yeah. Well, if I bought it at $9, I would never sell it for less than $9. Okay, if I bought it for $15, I'd wait for it to get back to 15, and I'd keep rolling. If you keep rolling out, you are just tying up your funds, and have opportunity loss. Okay, auto care, you're half right, half wrong. Okay, when I roll forward, there's several reasons why I would roll forward. Reason number one, I would roll forward if the stock is in an upward motion and I can continuously get 1-2% every single week. Okay, so if the stock is going up, I have two choices. Let it get called away, get all my money back, or roll it forward, pick up another 1 or 2%, and just keep going for the ride. Yeah, I could do that. Or if the stock jumps way above the strike price I sold, by rolling it forward gives me an extra week or so for the stock to come back down, because stocks go up, stock come down. So as the stock's going up, if it goes up past my strike price, it might get a little confusing now. If it goes up too high, I want to roll it, give me an extra week, and it does give me an extra premium. So yeah, it is tying up money, and there might be some opportunity loss. But here's the thing. Do you want losses on your, what do you call it? On your trading account at the end of the year? I don't. I don't want any losses at all. And I'm still making over 1% every week. Now, could I take a small loss, put that money in, and make a little bit more? Yeah, I could. But I have other things to do with my time rather than chasing pennies. If I make my 1%, fine. I'm okay with it. Could I make 1.5? Yeah, but am I really willing to give up that extra time out of my day for a few extra pennies? Okay, when you get to a certain age, money no longer has the importance in your life that it had when you were younger. Okay, so you're on the working end where you're still working. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I was there at one point in time. When you're no longer working and money is just something to pay the bills and a little bit extra to go here, go there, and have fun with the grandchildren. Well, it's a different outlook on it. So I'm not chasing pennies or lost opportunities. All right. Pepsi, we'll have to take a look at it tomorrow. Okay, Fighting Hiram, how are you doing? Auto Care, you just prolonging your realized loss. Okay, but it's my loss, okay? And if I want to prolong the loss, that's my prerogative, okay? But at this moment in time, I have 0 losses, and I have over 1% every single week, okay? So I have not lost anything this year, have no desire to lose anything this year. If I have to push it off for an extra couple of weeks to avoid a loss, I will do it. I'm freaking stubborn as hell. If I don't have to take a loss, I'm not going to take it. I'm looking for 1% a week. If I push it out and don't make any money on that position, fine. As long as I'm bringing in 1% every week, I'm okay. Are you a fan of VYM? Never heard of it. Too easy 124. How are you doing? Frankenstein, you're right. He is right. Okay. But I have no desire to take a look at taking a possible loss. But that's just my opinion. Okay. This is what I'm doing. Josh, good options. Thank you. I lost all my money on the coin. Okay. I don't do cryptocurrency. Okay. Don't. Ben Brown, how are you doing today? Pamela Jane, how are you? Steve Bellawood, good evening, good evening. Jessica Shepard, good evening to you. Ezra, good evening. E.S. Williams, good evening. Ken Joseph Hudson, what's happening? It goes other way. Because your value analysis is weak, you don't make trades based on lines. I have no idea what that means. And you don't even have a name there. Okay. Thank you, Corvette. That was nice of you. Probably plastic chairs. That's kind of. James, what's a dark pool? Okay. Cody, no desire to know. Okay. Again, you're trying to sucker me into that crypto shit. No desire. Thank you, though. Leon, what if the market keeps going down and doesn't go up? What should a person do? Okay, Leon, stocks that is. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Okay, now Leon, I trade options, James. Okay, Leon. Ugh. All right, Cody, you trade options. Cool beans. Glad. Wonderful. Great. Leon, stocks. What happens if they go down? Well, most people normally most people buy a stock and hold it for decades. If you're not willing to buy a stock and hold it for decades, well, don't buy it. If you think it might drop, because all stocks drop, they can drop 50 to 70%. If you're not ready for that, don't do it. Because they all can do the same thing. One of the first things you should be looking at is the summary. Find a website, a financial website. Okay, why is it stuck? Stuck. All right, it's stuck. I couldn't show you. But find a financial website that's going to give you the information that you're looking for. All right? Okay, this is Tesla. "52-week range, low 138, high 488. Well, that's pretty freaking dramatic. Okay, the high 488, the low 138. If you're not ready to buy it at 488, still hold comfortably at 138, don't jump in, don't buy it. All the information you need to make a halfway decent decision is available for free. Do some research. Never buy when I say rule number one, never buy something you don't understand. Make sure you understand it before you buy it. Dark pools has nothing to do with AI. I never said it did. Was just curious if you knew. It's one of those things like squirrel, shiny object to take my mind off of my current goal. My current goal is simplicity, safety, consistency of profitability. That's my goal. Consistency of profitability, safety, and predictability. I want to be able to know exactly what I'm getting on an average basis. Okay, so for the last 15 years, I've been getting 1% every single week. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but it averages 1% a week. If it works, why do I want to mess with it? Why do I want to look at something new that could alter my outcomes? Leon, when you get a chance, Google what is a dark pool in the stock market, and you will learn a lot about how institutions really run the market. Nice. What stocks do you mostly trade? Well, dividend kings, dividend aristocrats, dividend champions, dividend contenders, and of course, Warren Buffett's Warren Buffett's stocks. Same ones. Paul, the Marvel mistake covered call, red, green, expires Friday. The price down. Leave it. Paul, if we want to chat again in the morning, we'll take a good look at it. Okay? Red is the capital depreciation. The call will expire lower, blah, blah, blah. What platform are you using? Trade City, we're using Think or Swim. It's available through Charles Schwab. Cody, to get that return, mostly buy and hold stocks or options. I do stocks and options, basically covered calls on good quality dividend stocks. Kendall, buy Tesla now. You have fun with that one, kiddo. I don't do Tesla. I don't do Celsius, C-E-L-H. It's too new of a company. Thank you. Can we please talk about the economic state of the world right now? Nope. I don't do politics. Sorry. What kind of analysis is that? Well, it is analysis created so a 9-year-old could figure out how to do it. Simple. The strategy I am teaching here was specifically created for my 9-year-old daughter when she said, Daddy, can you teach me what you're doing? So it had to be simple. It had to be safe. It had to be predictable. It had to be consistent. And there had to be no way that she could lose. Okay? For a 9-year-old. Most adults don't understand it. And I have adults right here in the chat confirming that most adults don't understand it. So the 5 rules that come along with it. Rule number 1, never buy something you don't understand. If you don't want to buy it and hold it for the rest of your life to the day you die, don't buy it. Rule number 2, never sell at a loss. It defeats the purpose of the game. Rule number 3, make sure it is consistently profitable. QYLD is not consistently profitable. When I say consistently profitable, I want 2 decades of increased profitability. Rule number 4, weekly options only. There's 9,976 stocks. We checked yesterday. Okay? There's 9,976. Not all of them share their profits. If they don't share the profits, no thank you. Oh, Cody, James is not wrong. CELH is a high-risk, high-reward stock. Thank you. Sounds like a conservative trader, which isn't a bad strategy. Thank you. I'm not trying to imply something. You do it bad, by the way. Something you do is bad, by the way. Okay. I just like to hear other traders' ideas and how they navigate the markets. Okay. Okay. Cody, I'm looking for simple, safe, predictable, consistent 1% per week. Now I use pre-qualified dividend stocks, and those are companies that are consistently profitable. Okay, 20 years or more, and have weekly options. That way I can get a safe, predictable, and consistent 1% every single week. I'm just sharing what I do. That's it. Leon, how do you check something that is very profitable, and why do they really like stock options? I'm not quite sure that makes sense, Leon. How do you check something that is very profitable? Well, here's the thing. A public company is required by law to file a quarterly report and an annual report. In that report, they have to tell you what's going on in the company. So on the annual report, they will tell you, well, we made more money this year than we did last year. And that being the case, we're giving this much to our investors. Well, dividend kings have done that for 5 decades. Dividend aristocrats, 25 years consistently profitable. Dividend champions, 25 years of consistent profits. Dividend contenders, 10 to 24 years of consistent profits. You add them all up together, and just for the fun of it, let's look over Warren Buffett's shoulders, because if it's good enough for Warren, it should be good enough for us. Hypothetically. Okay? That right there is about 300 companies that are consistently profitable. Why would you put your... Now, I understand why people invest in companies that aren't profitable, because they have the possibility of being profitable. They have an outlook. They have a hype machine behind them saying, hey, buy this, buy this, buy this. It's great. It's wonderful. It's awesome. You'll retire. Yeah, but if the numbers don't work, yeah, no, thank you. And it is a numbers game. Okay, what is the company actually worth? What kind of cash flow do they actually have? What kind of earnings and what kind of dividends are they having? These are simple numbers that, yeah, they call it, fundamentals. That's what they call it. One thing is fundamentals, another thing is chart analysis. Well, you can take a look at a chart, hey, it's going to go up. It's going to go down. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I want simplicity. I want safety. I want predictability. And then I want consistency of profits. Okay, now I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. Okay, now do I have shit to sell? Yeah, I do. But I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just sharing what I do. I'm creating a video, not a dialogue, a video, not a catalog, a video diary for my children and my grandchildren. So in 15 and 20 years, when I'm long gone, they'll have something to say, how did Dad do it? How did Papa G do it? Well, this is how I do it. So I'm sharing it for my children and my grandchildren, and you guys just happen to be here. La, la, la. How do you check something? Okay, whatever. Cody, sure, which is a smart to protect capital. Never a good idea to treat the market like a casino, like most. Yeah, I don't, but I appreciate that, Cody. Thank you. Referring to you choosing to stick with what I am assuming is mostly large cap with a track record. Oh, yeah, Cody, that just makes sense. If a company is consistently profitable for more than 5 decades, and it can give me 1% every week, why wouldn't I? That should be a better question. Why wouldn't I invest in it? Holy shit, I still got a lot of questions to go. Dividend, what's the average percentage you shoot for in a dividend? I shoot for 1% a week. Mook's Golden Noose, how are you doing today? Leon, why do you really like stock options? I'm curious, to know your thoughts. Why do I like stock options? Because they can give me a simple, safe, predictable, consistent 1% every week. Every single week. They've been around since the 1970s. Okay, so if it works, why do I need to look under the hood? If I stick the key in the ignition, turn it on, and I go, do I really need to know what the compression ratio is or what the top dead center degrees are from that situation? And what is the proper compression ratio or pounds per square inch on a turbocharger? Why do I need to know that? All I need to know is, does it work? Does it consistently work? What are the risks involved? Okay, is there a way out of this safely without losing any money? So if I have the answers to those important questions, why do I really need to know all that really complicated stuff that really makes no sense whatsoever to know? He does covered calls, so the options help him protect his capital. Oh, there, sir. However, with a lower risk, you can see 1% a week would put you in probably the top 1 to 5%. Let's say 1 to 5%. I can't read that word. Is that title of traders? A life of traders? I don't know. I can't read that one. Sorry, Cody. But thank you for that. Alicia, QYLD, do me a favor, Alicia, or do yourself a favor. Seriously. Go into the historical performance of QYLD. How many years have they consistently increased their profits? Do they have weekly options? What is the rate of return? What is the yield they have been getting for the past few years? Pfizer is trash. All right, Enron, thank you for that. Alicia, how you doing? Jake, I effing love dividends. Cool beans, Jake. Winter Park of America, how are you? How do you know when it hit bottom? Also, Pepsi, love your show. Okay, so let me see if I can express this to you in a manner which you'll understand. Okay, so Winter Park of America. Now, Winter Park of America, I'm going to see if you understand what you just asked. How do you know when it hits bottom? Because it's the freaking bottom, dude. The top is there. You cannot argue. That's the top. That's the bottom. How do I know it's the bottom? Because it's the lowest one on the chart. Now, if you're asking where is the bottom, such as right here. Whoops, let me go one more. Make it a little bit more obvious. Okay, how do I know this is the bottom? I don't, because there's nothing next to it to compare it to. So the very next day could be lower, could be higher. Now, for me personally, now you all got to figure out what works for you when you're trying to find the bottom. Me, I like 2 days to the upside, because after 2 days to the upside, on the third day is where I'll jump in. So let's move it 1 day forward. So I'm going to need my glasses for this. Okay, 1 day forward. Look, it's lower. How do I know that's the bottom? Well, there is no way to find out what the bottom is until you have something to compare it to. Okay, very next day. Awesome, look, 1 day to the upside, but it's only one. Now, some people could call that the bottom. Me, I just say, well, that could be. I want 2 days, but I won't jump in the second day, I'll jump in the third day. So the next day, awesome. Look, now we have 2 days to the upside. Great. Now, if the third day is higher than right here, than today's close, then I will jump in. So what is it? Good. Now I will officially call this the bottom. How do I know it's the bottom? I don't. But this is what I am calling the bottom. Okay. As the stock is moving up or down, you got to figure out where your entry is. My entry is 30-day high, profit taking comes to a 30-day bottom right here, and then 2 days to the upside, 1, 2. On the third day, if it's higher, I will jump in. That's where I call the bottom. Now, that's not anyone else calling the bottom, that's just me. Okay, and then, well, what happens the next day? Well, looks like I was right. Okay, that was the bottom. I like 2 days to the upside. Okay, then on the third day, I'll jump in, and it just so happens to keep going up. Does that work all the time? No, it doesn't work all the time. But it works enough to make me happy and make me money. So I'm just going to stick with it. Okay, hey, all right. James Jordan, how are you doing? All right, do I ever do leaps? Yes, Cody, I've done leaps before. I actually do calendar spreads too, but we're not talking about that. I only teach one strategy. Okay, now, Cody, I've been trading for over 30 years. Okay, I know a lot of shit. I give away one strategy and only one. That's the covered call on dividend stocks, because it makes about 1% a week, and I think that is a good starting point for a lot of people. It's simple, it's safe, it's predictable, it's easy, and it's consistent. Okay, so fine, I will give that away for free. Now, do I know more? Yeah, I know a hell of a lot more. But I have to draw the line somewhere, saying if I'm giving this stuff away for free, well, that's all you're getting. Okay? All right, so stocks I meant. Any names of stocks you played this week? Oh, there's too many, dude. Sorry. Cody, also, what I was saying earlier, if you are okay, this highly safe strategy and still seeing 1% a week, then you are beating about 95% of retail investors as far as yearly returns. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I will say, hats off to you. I know you aren't a newbie, of course. Thank you. Also, Cody, just let you know, I am gearing up to do my own hedge fund. And I think the next step is an incubator fund. You got to go in steps. So, yeah, I share all my trades so everybody sees what I've been trading. And I've been sharing my trades since 2011 online. So but you can't. I can't use those legally because they're not verified by a non-biased third party. So yeah, I have to go into a tier 1 or a prime account in order to be able to attract an auditor to get verified ROI. Now I can share my trades, and I do share my trades. Glasses. Okay, here's my trades for last year. Okay, I made 70%, 73% in account 1, 63% in account number 2, and 33% in account number 3, only because this one started in July. So this is only half a year. But 74% in account number 1, 63 in account number 2, 33 in account number 3. But look at this year. This year, the numbers are freaking ridiculous. Okay, so account number 1, so far this year, from January 1st until now, I'm already up 37% this year in quarter 1. And I haven't even done week 13 yet. I haven't done these numbers yet, but that's going to be this week. But I got a good indication they're freaking ridiculous. But it is what it is. All right, so let's get out of there. Next. Well, definitely best of luck to you. Hope it goes well. I am a firm believer in having good people, helping retailers make good return. Thank you. These FAs now days suck. Doing between 8 and 15% a year while taking commissions, and that barely beats inflation. Yeah, I get it. Oh, FAs, financial advisors. Okay, I got that one. All right, Alicia QYLD, you already asked me that. You a long-term trader or a day trader? No, I'm what you might want to call a swing trader because I trade weekly. That's about it. I'm not a day trader, and I'm not a long-term player. Tahoe Red, how about lithium stocks? Okay, you have to ask me tomorrow. Okay, I'm just answering questions now. I'm way past quitting time. Rudy, how you doing? Seamus, how you doing? Rudy, I like Mara better than Coors. Okay, what's my opinion? QQQ, ask me tomorrow. The book value seems below par, probably. Why swing trader? Okay, Javier, don't start. Okay. Okay, I trade the way I trade, and that's what stock we talking about? We were talking about Ford. Okay, park, blah, 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 tap, 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 all righty. Larissa, to best avoid getting assigned lower than your purchase shares. Okay, so what about lithium stock examples? Okay, Tahoe Red, ask me tomorrow. I'm way past 11:30. Anything you're looking at for favorites for this week? Well, this week is just about over, but ask me tomorrow, because tomorrow is another day. I mean, next week, because this week is ending. Got it? When do equity screening, what are ratios, metrics you look for? An example, okay, not tonight. Who's your broker? That is Charles Schwab. You're slipping, Jimmy. Interesting name. Okay, can you talk back test tomorrow for this strategy? Why would I need to back test? I actually have trades that I have done over the past 15 years. I already have them, so why do I need to back test it? You're asking me to back test something that I've been using for 15 years. Well, how far back do you want to go? If 15 years is not good enough, I'm not quite sure what you're looking for. What about AI stocks? I don't do it. Sorry. This guy doesn't need to back test. You can tell by talking to him. He knows what he's talking about. Thank you, Cody. Not for you, but for me. I'm just learning. Okay, James, I get it. Come back tomorrow a little earlier, and then I'll be more than glad to take a look at things. Stocks or Forex? I like stock because Forex has no... I'm trying to think of the right word. No regulatory authority. Okay? So, yeah, Forex here in the United States does have some regulations, but as soon as the Forex market ends here in the US and opens up somewhere else, they have no regulations. So yeah, that doesn't make me comfortable. So no, I don't do Forex anymore. I tried it a while ago. Give me an advice on which metrics to look at when equity screening. Consistency of profitability and the availability of weekly options. There you go. PBRA is my best dividend stock. Kohl Beans. Okay, Ishmiador. Tomorrow we'll take a look at that one. Howdy, howdy. Question, 1% total return per account? Yeah, absolutely. If I have $100,000 in account number one, I want $1,000 a week. If account number two has $150,000, I want $1,500 a week. If account number three has $25,000 in it, I want $250 every single week. 1% is 1% no matter how you cut it. Can you get into detail on regulations of Forex? No, I don't do Forex. So it's of no concern to me. Okay? So Javier, I'm terribly sorry. I honestly don't want to be rude. But I have nothing to do with Forex, and I cannot give you information on Forex that will be helpful to you. Tom, what is a sweep trade type? Couldn't tell you that one. What platform do you use, Thinkorswim? How would you participate in your hedge fund? Oh, how would we? Ooh, 75 Corvette. Why don't you drop me a number? I'll give you a buzz and I can explain it. Okay? Because I am looking for a couple of board members. Okay? People like-minded that are more interested in helping people rather than turning a profit. Okay, there are a few of us out there. Okay, I have a half dozen people that are already considering to be board members. I'm looking for 13 altogether. What platform do I trade on? Thinkorswim. Wade Wilder, how are you doing this evening? Did I miss your take on what happens today, especially after hours? No, you did not miss that. Cartel 2X, what platform are you using? Already answered that question. Pull your 401 today. I have no idea. I can't answer that one, David. It's not a question. Oh, we're at the end. Cool beans. All right, 75 Corvette. I'll give you a buzz in the morning. Slippin' Jimmy is from Better Call Saul. Ooh, cool. All right, that's all the questions. We are done. Woohoo! All right. That being said, you guys all have a great night. We'll see you here again. Same bat time, same bat channel. I'm out of here. Okay, you guys have a great night, everyone. Bye, you guys on Facebook. Bye, you guys on Instagram. Bye, you guys on TikTok. How do I apply for board membership? Send me your number. I'll give you a buzz. Okay? Bye, all y'all on TikTok. See you again tomorrow. Okay, and you guys over here on YouTube, have a nice night and see you tomorrow. And